Hello everyone and welcome back to Nagash, and in this video we are actually going to go through all the leaks that we are seeing come out so far for the Slaves to Darkness Battletome, the new one that's coming out in, I think it was November, December, something around that sort of time. And joining me in this video is we are going to have Max. So Max, thank you very much for coming on the channel today. Obviously you've been on the channel before, but for anyone who hasn't watched one of those videos for whatever reason, what got you into sort of Slaves to Darkness, mainly sort of Zeech you're into, aren't you? So what's the story behind that?
I'm not playing too many models, so just play fucking Archeon as a base.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, I've got Archeon behind me. Lovely, lovely model. Loads of fun, and especially how when you can easily take him more, you could do. Trying to remember the rules now. In obviously in Zeech and all the other Grand Alliances, well, all the other factions and everything else. He's a load of fun. And the idea we are going to do in this video is we're not going to do like a massive deep dive into all of the leaks because we'd be here for the entire weekend. But what we are going to do, we're going to quickly go over all the leaks we've got. As you can see, we've got it on a nice handy PDF here. I'm just going to go through all of them. And then we've got kind of like a summary of what has changed, which we're going to go through at the end as well. We'll tell you our sort of thoughts where we have also read through this. I have not actually read through everything, so it'd be kind of like a reaction kind of video as well to see what I like and don't like. As you can see, I'm a massive fan of this army, Limited Battletome here, so it's an army that's very close to my heart, and I hope it is still as good, if not better, than it has been. So anything else you want to say, Max, before we get started?
Not really.
Not really, no worries. We'll jump straight in. What I will say, if anyone is interested, want to give us your thoughts, put that in the chat as well. And if you're watching this video like on demand later, put that in the comments of this video as well. Okay, so let's get on and get started with the first page, which is all going to be about the allegiance abilities and going to be starting with the battle traits. And of course, who would Slaves to Darkness be without the marks of chaos? So in summary, what this blurb here says, as far as I'm aware, is the same as it was before, apart from it specifically states that wizards can't have the Khorne keyword, which I don't know if it specifically stated that in the last battle tome, but there wasn't really any wizards you could take with the Khorne keyword as far as I was aware. But going on to what has changed is going to be the actual marks themselves. So starting with, yeah, exactly. So some changes here. So hopefully it gives it a nice freshen up. And starting with the mark of the undivided, funny enough. So to have a read through it, it says all mortal and Ogroid, so sort of like Slaves to Darkness Minotaur units, Slaves to Darkness undivided units that are not unique gain the Eye of the Gods keyword. When a Slaves to Darkness Undivided hero rolls on the Eye of the Gods page, which we'll get to in a moment, you can re-roll any one of the dice. In addition, Undivided Slaves to Darkness heroes can issue the following command. So, Slave Worthy Foes. You can use this command ability at the start of the combat phase. A friendly Undivided Slaves to Darkness unit must receive this command. Until the end of that phase, add 1 for wound rolls for attacks made with melee units that target enemy hero or monsters. And in the meta right now, there is a fair few scary monsters knocking around. So Undivided, firstly, what I'd say is I find this a lot more interesting than it was before, which try to remember before it was you, because I never really took it. It was you didn't take Battleshock tests.
Yeah, pretty much. And I believe you got the 6+ Fear No Pain.
Yes, you got this. Yeah, I remember that now. So I remember when the book came out, it was very prevalent that a lot of people took the War Shrine that gave your mortals the 6+ save anyway. So there wasn't really loads of incentive to take Undivided. Whereas now it's a bit more juicy. Obviously, as you can see from the style of what we've just read there and the rest of them, when we go through these Marks of Chaos, it's before the Marks of Chaos abilities, where if you were in range of a hero with the same mark as your unit, it got ability. And if it was a general as well and it shared the same mark, you got an additional ability. That is all changed now when we're going through this, as you can see from the first example. But yeah, so I quite like that change. Having added 1 to wound rolls is not particularly the most easiest thing to get in Age of Sigmar at the moment. Adding 1 to hit is obviously being chucked all around war attack. Added 1 to wound rolls, so that's nice to see.
Kind of said it's just on heroes and monsters, but like you said, there are some
Yeah, I would
notable
say,
monsters right now.
yeah, it's a bit of a shame. I mean, what I would say is I've been to a tournament lately with Slaves to Darkness. I didn't take the most competitive list, but it was a couple of weeks ago, and I went for the Doombringer's Blade, I believe it was called, from the Despoilers faction. What that is when the game starts, you pick an enemy, hero, or monster. Your whole army gets to reroll hits and wounds against it. So I know that is slightly better, but that ability, I thought, well, some armies might not really be useful. It was useful in every single game out of the 5. There was always some big thing, or even if it wasn't a big scary monster, it was quite a survivable, tough hero that was a pain to get rid of. So when I sent something up against it and go, chances are they're not going to be able to slay it with that bonus, it did really sort of tip the odds a bit. So it's a bit sad, but I think it will pull off on that one. But that's Undivided. So obviously Better Call is very popular, so he's Undivided. But again, what I would say is it really it's going to be interesting to play out, because I'm used to obviously associating all these benefits you get from being in range of a hero and everything. But so your hero's marks aren't really as important. So it's interesting, basically, to say the least. I do like it. I think it is a bit more fun than it was before, especially for Undivided. So going on to Khorne, you add 1 to attack characteristics on many weapons used by Khorne Slaves to Darkness units if they made a charge move in the same turn. In addition, Khorne Slaves to Darkness heroes can issue the following command. So the command is let the blood flow. Hang on a second.
Ja, in de pot, op je kantoor.
That feel right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no worries. So that's okay. So the command flow is let the blood flow. So you use this command ability at the start of your charge phase. A friendly Khorne Slaves to Darkness unit must receive the command. After that, a unit makes a charge move. Pick an enemy unit within 1 inch and roll a dice on a 2+. That enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. So that's kind of like the same ability we had for the Gore Beast Chariot and also like the Chaos Lord and Karkadrak. So I can't remember, but if they still have that ability on their new Warscrolls, then obviously you could stack this. But if it's been taken away, then that is a bit sad.
Yeah, they changed it a little bit. It's kind of the same, but you can stack them together in this case. So
yeah,
more mortal wounds are always good.
Yeah, exactly. Which is good. Obviously, you could only issue this once, can't you? Because it's one command. The add 1 to attack characteristics though is really nice. Obviously, who doesn't like more attacks, especially if you're Khorne focused, which is nice. But I remember I used to run Khorne quite a bit when I played it on TTS, and having the whole reroll 1s to hit and +1 to wound was really, really nice. So, I mean, this is still good, still okay, but I do prefer what it was before. But obviously, with the new Warscrolls, it may end up being a bit different.
But at least now you know the +1 to wound was only from the general, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
then your general became a target.
A big target, especially if you ran him with loads of Arangard and he was Archaon. That's lovely. But going on to, I'm going to let you talk us through this one, Matt, because Tzeentch is completely your bag.
Sadly, Games Workshop didn't like that.
No, it didn't. It didn't seem like it. They didn't like the whole. What was it originally? They got the 5 up Spellinor. Was it the reroll ones to save in the current edition of the Battletome?
He has a 4-up spell ignore, and then he got a 5-up indeed. And but that's only for the general, and the base one was rerolling armor saves of 1. So yeah,
which
clearly
is quite hard to get in the game.
Yeah, having a 2+ rerollable armor save is kind of dumb.
Yeah, I mean, I chucked in the tournament I mentioned that I went against an Archaon, and I chucked a Chaos Lord or a Chaos Sorcerer Lord on Manticore, a Chaos Lord and Karkadrak, 2 Demon Princes and Be'lakor into Archaon, and I think they did 3 damage.
Yep.
And I was attacking with I think in how he activated things, I attacked with 4 of those things before he swung at me. And that was, and I was like, as soon as I wasn't paying attention properly, I wasn't really asking about the saves and stuff. And as soon as he was like, "Yep, so 2 ups, 3 roller ones," I was like, I'm screwed.
Oh yeah.
But I think we could tell like a lot of the rerolls were coming out of the game, weren't they? Especially reroll ones to save when we saw like 3rd edition come out. So I think we knew that this was probably going to be up one day. But I'll read through it and then you can tell me what you think on the as you've put the lovely new change. So you can save your markers each. You can roll a dice each time a spell targets a friendly Zeech Slaves to Darkness unit. On a 6, that spell has no effect on that unit. In addition, Zeech Slaves to Darkness wizards know the following spell. So Warp Reality. Warp Reality is a spell with a casting value of 6 and a range of 9 inches. If successfully cast, pick one Zeech Slaves to Darkness unit visible to the caster, remove that unit from the battlefield and set it up again within range of the caster and more than 9 inches from all enemy units. So we quickly talked about this before we started this video, and we think that when it says we're in range of the caster, within that 9 inches, what we think, don't we? Makes sense for that spell.
Yeah, because otherwise it doesn't say pick a friendly Slaves to Darkness unit within range. It just says visible to the caster. So might need an FAQ on that one to be 100% certain, but it seems to be the idea.
Yeah, because if it is if there isn't within range of the caster, then how much different is it than the Mask of Darkness? I think it was called, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Mask of Darkness used to be pick a unit within 12.
Yep, so bigger range.
That's where the wording goes, and place it somewhere on the battlefield outside 9 inches.
And because this doesn't say place it somewhere on the battle, yeah, so it may need a bit of an FAQ. But what are your thoughts on this compared to what it used to be? Well, I'd say not as strong.
Not as strong, but to have the odd sorcerer have this is pretty good still. Because what you can do is, because this is a spell, you can pull a unit out of combat, teleport them next to your wizard, and then they can move and charge again. And that's kind of the theme of this, or the new book, to be honest. Charge,
right? Emphasis on the charge.
Always be charging.
As much as Nighthaunt? They do a lot easier. Playing against an Nighthaunt army, and it didn't seem particularly hard for them to retreat and charge all the time.
Yeah, and that's how I had an Archeon with no save, even though I gave him +4.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel. I didn't have that many saves, but I had a Chaos Warriors, and I think they were +2 to save to counter enemy rend, and then with the rend of their sword as well, because he charged so many things in. He was like, so you're -5 to save? And I was like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. But it's, Ghosts had an awful time for a long time. So, they deserve a little bit of time. So, but anyway.
They're a very cool army.
Exactly. Still. They are indeed. And back to Slaves to Darkness. So going on to, which was also a fairly popular one, was Nurgle, wasn't it? I think, especially in the early edition of the book. Lots of people took Nurgle. So what you get now is subtract 1 from wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons that target Nurgle Slaves to Darkness units. In addition, Nurgle Slaves to Darkness heroes can issue the following command. So we've got Bestow Contagion. You can use this command ability at the start of the combat phase. A friendly Nurgle Slaves to Darkness unit must receive this command after this unit fights for the first time. In that phase, roll a dice for each enemy unit within 3 inches of this unit. On a 3+, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. So what I would really like is if this wasn't at the start of the combat phase. If this was a way to be able to untangle a unit from combat or something, when you're tagged in by something that's just got a few left wounds, something like that. But as I suppose to be in the start of the combat phase, you could still. There's times when you're you're in combat with a big nasty enemy monster or character, something like that, and even on a couple of wounds, they can still do quite a lot of damage. So you can just try and finish them off. But then it just starts getting a bit smaller, the sort of uses from it. I mean, it's a nice utility thing, but I don't think it's that particularly good. Where they used to be on 6s to wound, it was an extra damage. Was that right?
Extra damage, I believe.
Yeah, I've got it in the book here. Yeah.
The thing you can do with it as potential is use something like a chariot that does impact hits.
And then extra mortals, yeah.
Get some extra mortals, and they have changed up the gore beast in particularly that you can walk away. So you can charge in, do impact damage, and walk away, and have even more impact damage.
Yeah, so
it could be might be a thing.
And it's nice how it's each enemy unit within 3 inches. If it was pick one as well, that would be massively. Especially, like I said, Chariot's big base as well.
Yeah, and you can play them units for free, so
yeah, that could be huge.
You can tag a lot of units with that.
Yeah, that could be good. And I think they're a little bit cheaper now than they were as well, so that's cool to see. And then, probably arguably not as cheap as they should be, but we'll have a look when we get to that. So on to the last one, which is what I'm a big fan of, is because it's Slaanesh. It is add 1 to run and charge rolls for Slaanesh Slaves to Darkness units. In addition to this, Slaanesh Slaves to Darkness heroes can issue the following command. Close in for the kill. So you can use this command ability at the start of the charge phase on a friendly Slaves to Darkness Slaanesh unit. Must receive this command. That unit can run and still charge later in the same turn. So automatically, I'm going to say I don't feel like this is as good as it was before, because before it was exploding 6s to hit, and then you also had the ability to re-roll running charges if you're in range of the general. I mean, I don't think this is bad. Adding 1 to running charges, if you've got, just trying to think, Chaos Warriors, Chaos Knights, presume Chaos Chosen, the horns and them go to add 1 to running charge rolls anyway, so you could be running at least 3 inches or charging at least 4 inches. Still, I'd prefer the reroll, but at least you can use the command point to do that anyway, so you've got more potential of this maybe. And then being able to run and charge, you could be really, really fast on your Slaves to Darkness stuff. I just really like the exploding 6s to hit, though. That was really, really cool.
Yeah,
especially when the dice
massive.
Yeah, when the dice spiked, like I had it sometimes, going back to that tournament I did recently, it's a good example. I'd have a Demon Prince, and sometimes Demon Princes do nothing. Like I had one stuck in combat with a Calm Ray for 3 turns. And then sometimes, terrible, right? And it was attacking first. And then sometimes, I think I rolled it like with the sword, I'm pretty sure it was 4 attacks, and I'd get like 3 6s to hit with that, and then suddenly that's turned into 7. Then I've wounded with all of them, then that's 7 saves, like -1 D3 damage. And for like just like a Demon Prince, which is a character that's not a monster, pretty good. And then the talons would spike a little bit. You get 5 attacks turning in that, and then before you know it, you've done like 14 damage to the enemy or something from 1 Demon Prince. So it was like that as just like a prime example. Or if you're rolling, a bunch of dice for your Chaos Warriors, your Chaos Marauders, the spiking was nice. So it is sad to see that take away. It's the thing I will say. But at least it has some things that are it's still quite good. It's game being able to run and charge, which is nice.
To be honest, I have to agree on that one. It's for me, none of them are really bad, but I would say it's second to last for me. Last the Undivided, but the Undivided can be really good in
situational
some matchups. Yeah. Like if you encounter a lot of a monster list or something, you roll a lot on that Eye of the Gods table.
Yeah, the Eye of the Gods table is something that I've always loved as well. It doesn't always come into it, like into effects and stuff into the game, but it's really, really like lore friendly and fluffy, so I do love that. So I'm a bit disappointed, especially how, for me as a Slaanesh player, from a Slaves to Darkness, especially when I was taking them like to the tournament and stuff, I know that They're not the most. They weren't the most competitive mark anyway, and then it's not nice to see that they haven't really got a bump, if anything, a stab in the knee. To be honest, but that's what it is. Sometimes you get changes, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Some of the units, though, I know have got better in the army, so that may offset the average. But I know points have gone up as well for some units, so we'll get into that in a moment. But I just want to go over to the chat. Some people are saying. So we've got Jacq.l. He's saying, so it seems Undivided get more random buffs, but potentially to stack them up, the God aligned get more specific abilities. Is that right? Well, I think like
that seems about right.
Yeah,
like
I think so.
The whole Eye of the God table also got a pretty good, pretty big revision as far as I remember.
That's interesting.
It's like it's a lot of getting extra attacks, getting +1 on the charge, all kinds of stat buffs, to be honest. Which does make them, like, if you can stack it up on some units, it gets quite insane.
Yeah.
Like, you can get some real Death Star units.
Yeah, and I think what I'm still seeing here, which is nice, is what I've always liked about Slaves to Darkness is that not when this book first came out, because when it first came out, you could take the army and loads of different other factions and you could run it in loads of different battle times. So it's not as diverse as that anymore, but within the same book, you can make the army feel quite differently depending on just what mark you take. You can really tailor those sort of styles to it. So when you're reading the Warscrolls for your units, don't just take that off the bat. There's nothing really that improves them here. They can do things, obviously, like, if you go Khorne, you are getting those extra attacks. Slaanesh is more speed, etc. And then you've got King here saying that no mark of the rat. This is Scale and Oppression. I think you've just had a brand new book, so you can shove that up there. But I would be on board for a Skaven mark. That'd be really cool. Give loads of room for customization.
Yeah, and I would love to have some Warblind in Kent in my Slaves to Darkness army.
Yeah, I'll take the R2. I like some Storm Fiends as well. They're quite good. Going back again to that tournament again and again and again, I had a Demon Prince that got hit in the head by, I think, about like 5 shots from mortars, like 5 glass balls, and bloody, I think he took about like 17 damage or something. It was crazy. But going on to the next thing. So we've done the marks and then going on to the Eye of the Gods. So we'll have a quick read through this just to see if it has changed. At the end of each phase, for each enemy, hero, or monster destroyed by a friendly Slaves to Darkness unit, the Eye of the Gods keyword, including those destroyed by an ability or spell used by that Slaves to Darkness unit, make 1 roll on the Eye of the Gods table for the Slaves to Darkness unit and apply the effect of the result. In addition, if you gain control of an objective previously controlled by your opponent, make 1 roll on the Eye of the Gods table for each friendly Slaves to Darkness unit with the Eye of the Gods keyword that is contesting it. When rolling on the Eye of the Gods table, roll 2d6 for the Slaves to Darkness heroes. For all other units, roll 1 dice and add 2 to the score, giving a score between 3 and 8. Designer notes: some effects on this table apply until the end of the battle. These effects are cumulative. I can't say that word. Basically means it stacks, right?
Yeah.
So basically, with that, obviously changes like the objective never used to be a thing about claiming an objective. It was only if you killed.
Also the first time I read it now. That is really good.
That is really good. There's also just like a little thing, like the first paragraph I was getting excited about, let alone the second paragraph. The first paragraph just saying, if it's can be killed by a spell or something, where before, pretty sure it had to be a melee weapon. So that's
just said you have to kill it. It was like, it didn't specifically state how you had to kill it. Just kill a hero, I believe it was in the wording, but I am not entirely sure. You could be right with the melee. To be honest, I have to confess, I have never rolled on the Eye of the Gods table.
That's it. I've rolled. I rolled a Demon Prince to get a Demon Prince, and to turn a Chaos Lord and Karkadrak into a Demon Prince, I was kind of like, ooh, the Chaos Lord and Karkadrak's quite good as he is, thank you. He doesn't want Demonhood quite yet. He's going the RKL route. But I've just had a quick look up, and it used to be, we're both wrong. It had to be only at the end of the combat phase.
Okay.
So it could have been an effect or ability.
Only melee. Okay.
So that's better, and the objective thing is great. So when it says, obviously we probably already mentioned this and I've forgotten, but when it said if it is a hero, it's a bit different for the Eye of the Gods table. Where we go. Yeah, the second paragraph.
You roll 2 dice.
So can you do it for normal units then? Was that a thing?
Yes. Yeah. That's what the all green thing was about from the Mark of Chaos. But it was kind of weird. It's kind of weird to have like 10 cultists turn into a demon prince suddenly. So
that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Why they did it, or just see them turn into a spawn. Like,
yep.
Oh no, I have my 10 cultists of 80 points. They turn into a demon prince, or they turn into a spawn.
Not necessarily a bad thing. I've converted up a spawn for it. I'm waiting for the day until I roll spawn them. It'd be great. And then we've got Gull, who's it's been really, really generous. He's chucked some money towards the channel. So Gull, thank you very much. Really does go a long way for keeping the channel going. It's really, really nice of you to do that. And thanks for covering these. I know elites can be shades of grey, but was really curious on Slaves to Darkness. No worries, mate. I always as you guys who are watchers of the channels, you realise obviously I've been very busy for the last year or something with work and real life, and heating's getting more expensive, all these sorts of things. So I haven't been able to make as many videos, but I'll always try and cover Slaves to Darkness as it is an army I really, really do love. And I may try and do another in-depth review on the whole book like I did before. We'll see, as I know a lot of you guys enjoyed that. But thank you, Gull. You're very, very welcome. So let's go on with the Eye of the Gods table. So we just talked about Spawned, didn't we? So let's start with that one. So if you roll a 2, this hero is... What's that?
My biggest friends. Long live Zinj, long live Kairos. May he rest in peace.
Does he not? Can he not do that anymore?
No.
Oh, sad. You did that. I remember you turned one of my Vanguard and TCS into a spawn one time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh god, I can't. And every time I tried to do a trick, I just got charged by I think what they called screamers. Oh yeah, that was a fun time. So anyway, Spawned. This hero is slain. Before they are removed from the battlefield, you can add 1 Slaves to Darkness Chaos Spawn to your army. If you do so, set up within 1 inch of this hero, then remove this hero from play. So it used to be you suffered D3 mortal wounds, or you could turn into a spawn. So it was a choice. Now you're just a spawn. So you best have a spawn prepared. Otherwise, you get nothing. So I'd make sure you have a spawn ready on the sidelines for that one. Think of it as like nice, fun summoning. So we've got that. We've got Snubbed by the Gods. So this result has no effect. Now, I understand this has a place in lore and everything, but I've actually, when I have rolled on the Eye of the Gods table, I've rolled this result twice, and it's actually really annoying because it's really hard to... I suppose it's not hard anymore, but it used to be quite hard to roll the Eye of the Gods table. So when you rolled a 7, it was to get this, it was like, oh, that's a... Cheers, mate. Yeah. Cheers, God, for not getting involved yet again. So then going on to number 4, we've got a...
Mutative Grove.
Fantastic.
Hildy free.
Hildy free wounds to this unit. If the unit has no wounds allocated to it, treat this result as a snubbed by the gods instead. So that's nice. That's not bad. Very ugly.
But
it's not bad. Well, I think, I have to remind myself of the new Warscrolls again, but I know there's a lot of the heroes have ways of healing wounds when they kill things anyway.
Yeah. I'm also not entirely sure how they described healing up nowadays in the General's Handbook. Like, you can roll this for one of the normal guys, like for the normal units. Do you get D3 models back also? I don't think so, but
I don't know. I don't. I think every single
word. This is basically the one for. No, 3 is basically 1 for the Eye of the Gods for the normal units.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you would heal back models, only because, I mean, some of the wording that I'm remembering might be from a couple of years ago, but every single time I've seen it is heal D3 wounds, or as an alternative, heal D3 wounds worth of models back to the unit, blah, blah, blah. So I don't think so. But again, I think we're already going to need a little bit of an FAQ for these rules, unsurprisingly. And it may be cleared up in that. Be cool, I guess.
It's clearer than it ever was, except when you're reading the Zinj book. But
yeah. Well, the Zinj book isn't meant to be clear, though, is it? It's all about mystery.
No.
Talking about Zinj, though, this seems more about your style. So, Flames of Chaos.
Yeah.
So, the next time this unit is affected by a spell cast by an enemy unit, roll a dice on a 2+. Ignore the effects of that spell on this unit. A unit cannot be affected by the results more than once at the same time. So that, I mean, it's a one-shot ability, isn't it? Because it's next time it's affected.
Yeah.
But a 2+. But I think what that kind of means is that the enemy just won't target them with a spell.
Yeah, but
it's still not bad.
Like, get this on. I don't know if there's a way to get it on Varangard, but get it on Varangard. Good luck. You have a 2+ spell ignore. Have fun.
Yeah, that could be. Oh yeah, can you imagine? That'd be fun.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So it's still got uses for that, and then going on to the next one, which is Unearthly Reflexes. So until the end of the battle, add 1 to charge rolls made for this unit. I mean, Unearthly Reflexes definitely makes it sound more like add 1 to save.
Yeah, that, or get an extra attack.
Yeah, or reroll 1s to save. But I mean, I'm sure I'm going to roll this. My Slanesh are going to be really, really fast. They'll be like plus 3, +4 the charge at this point. Really won't be necessary.
It's very handy to have.
I suppose, yeah, because again, this is until the end of the battle, isn't it? This one, for example. So that's not bad. You never fail in a 2-inch charge, or 3-inch charge even. And then you got Unholy Resilience. So until the end of the battle, this unit has a 6+ ward. Yeah, it's not bad.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I think that's what some of these are obviously more powerful than others, but quite a few of them are kind of like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, you know, I'm going to try not to forget about it.
But hey, when you have something like Chaos Chosen do get Eye of the Gods, or you at least can give it to them. When they walk upon objectives and take like 2 and maybe a character and get like a 2+ spell ignore, 6+ ward save, and +1 on the charge, you're pretty happy. Like, and they're multi-wound models, so can always heal maybe a few. So
yeah, it's not bad.
I do think it's
firstly
useful.
It's useful. For like 3 reasons, just to say off the top of my head, is 1, you can use it on obviously units instead now. It doesn't just have to be heroes. Second thing, it's a hell of a lot easier to get off as well, you know, compared to what it was before. And I feel like some of the abilities are a bit more relevant in the game today. So, like, where before, like, the Eye of the Gods table was kind of, I mean, you would do it, but some people forgot about it because it very rarely happened, etc. So it'll be becoming a much more bigger part of the game. And again, you know, the whole idea going, oh, it's cool that units can do it now, not just heroes. And it makes, in the lore, it makes complete sense because it's not like, right, now you're a hero, you're noticeable by the gods. You know, everyone's trying from the loneliest marauder all the way up to Chaos Lord, for example. So going on to the next thing, we've got Slaughterous Strength. So until the end of the battle, improve the rend characteristic of the unit's melee weapon by 1.
Everybody wants that.
Yeah, everyone likes, ever since the game even started of Age of Sigmar, back like 5-6 years ago, everybody's loved rend. So that's really, really nice. On any unit, that's great. And then you've got Arcane Awakening. So until the end of the battle, this unit becomes a wizard. They can attempt to cast 1 spell in your hero phase and attempt to unbind 1 spell in the enemy hero phase. If this unit is already a wizard, they can attempt to cast one additional spell instead. It's not bad. Some people take Arcane Tome to be able to do that. Depends, obviously, how early on that kind of comes into it. But, you could suddenly unlock another... If you go Zeech as well, you've got another guy who can do the teleport spell. I don't know. It's, again, why not? I think that one is a bit off. And then number 10, we've got Aura of Chaos. So until the end of the battle, this unit has a ward of 5+. Everybody wants that. That's very nice. And then you've got Dark Apotheosis. So if you roll if you roll this result, you can choose either the Demon Hood effect below or any other result on this table instead, which is nice. It kind of feels like they're running out of ideas a little bit, because that means that the Demon Hood is... Oh no, sorry, I'm doing this completely wrong. I need to start paying attention to the numbers. It's obviously on a... Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Demon Hood.
Spawn and Demon Hood are staples of the Slaves to Darkness has always been, even in the fantasy days, like turning into a spawn or into a demon.
That was a thing back then as well, was it?
Yeah, I don't remember how it worked back then, but there were ways to turn into a spawn with abilities and becoming a demon.
That's cool. And obviously, it's just like we've been saying this whole time, it's really fluffy, isn't it? So you can add a Slaves to Darkness Demon Prince to your army. If you do so, set up within 1 inch of this hero and then remove this hero from play. They do not count as being slain. The Demon Prince has the same mark of Chaos keyword that the hero had. It has any command trait and effects of power that the hero had. If the hero was your general, the Demon Prince is now your general. So I think you can even, because I know there's obviously some things or some effects that only mortals can have compared to demons, etc. So it'd be interesting in some cool combinations there if that was to happen during the game. But most of your... Where before I found it was very much the heroes you had in the current edition of the Slaves to Darkness Battletome, the heroes you had who were going to roll in the Eye of the Gods table were already pretty point heavy, or they are quite good to be able to kill an enemy hero or monster. Yeah. So when you got the Demon Prince, it was kind of 50-50, if maybe a bit less, if you wanted to replace him with the Demon Prince. But now it opens up a whole board of options, doesn't it? Like, if a unit rolls and becomes a Demon Prince, that's a thing, isn't it?
What kind of funny is to me is if you have a Khorne unit or Khorne hero specifically, you pretty much 3 rolls to get an extra rend.
Yeah,
because you have the 8, you have the 9 because you're Khorne, so you get the result of an 8, and with 11 or 12 you can choose. So you can choose 8.
Yeah, you could do get extra rend. That'd be really good.
Stack rend that way, just randomly walk on an objective and turn into a Demon Prince.
That'd be cool. And
behold, is my Dark Chieftain that walks onto an objective and turns into a Demon Prince.
And there'll be I don't know, a Chaos Lord somewhere that's tried really hard and has rolled the Snub by the Gods ability, and the other guy's got the bloody Demon Prince walking on an objective. Like, where's the fairness in this? Absolutely, I'll be complaining if I was him.
And one guy killing fucking Gotrek or something. You're spawn now.
You're spawn to punish you and then reward the other guy. Yeah, sounds like the real world, to be honest. So that's quite cool. And like, also, if you become, let's say you've got a Chaos Lord, he's got 2 wins remaining, he's just walked to an objective, he's turned to a Demon Prince, obviously. Does that mean he's a Demon Prince all in full wounds again? He's all healed up and everything? Yeah, that's cool.
Pretty much, because you remove the unit.
And put on a new one.
Yeah.
So that's good. I like that. And then just going to the chat again, we've got Big Dog 6 is saying, sorry, Mikey, it's mad, the re-rolling the wands. What was this?
Yeah, I think he meant when we were talking about the re-rolling wands.
Oh right, yeah. It's mad, but it's good. So we're talking about Archaon. Yeah, we're talking about Archaon. Then that was crazy. I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I was better enough to never have played that myself. Oh, I love running that. That was great. But if you're on the other side of it, it's not nearly as fun. I'll be honest. Right. So those are the Eye of the Gods. Going on to the next thing, which are very important because it's match play and it's grand strategies.
Yeah.
I haven't read through these. Are they just the same as the White Dwarf ones?
Largely, there are a few extra. Like,
okay.
We have 3 extra grand strategies and 3 extra battle tactics.
Okay, that's nice. I'm glad they're not just the same. Otherwise, that'd be a bit disappointing. So, the grand strategies. We've got dominating presence. So, when the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if there is at least one friendly Slaves to Darkness unit wholly within each large quarter of the battlefield, which I believe was one of the ones from White Dwarf. And then you've got Follow the Path of Glory, which is when the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if you rolled the Dark Apotheosis result on the Eye of the Gods table 1 or more times during the battle. Was that the Demon Prince one, is it?
Yep.
Would you? I mean, I'll read the next two. So bring ruin to the realms. When the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy. If you completed at least 4 battle tactics, and every battle tactic you completed, this battle was from the Glory of the Gods list below. And then, so dependent. I haven't read the Glory of the Gods, but if they're quite good, then that's pretty good. And then you've got Masters of Dark Ritual. So when the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if there are any Slaves to Darkness endless spells on the battlefield that you set up. I feel like that's quite good. But yeah.
They have one where you have to have 2, but it's a bit easier to have 2 spells for Siege.
Yeah, just a tad. So I think they're okay. I mean, they're better than some of the grand strategies. Obviously, you get in the normal core rules, but then it comes down to, in events, should you get grand strategies? Should you be able to use them from your book? Should you not be able to use them from your book, etc., etc.? But it's just nice to have more options to pick from. And then going on to the battle tactics, we've got Glory of the Gods. So Slaves to Darkness armies only. You've got Enthrall to Chaos. So pick one objective marker on the battlefield that is within 12 inches of any enemy units. You complete this battle tactic if there are no enemy units within 12 inches of that objective marker at the end of the end of the turn. That's quite good. It's just kill something, and you could pick an objective that's just tagged in small enemy unit or something and just finish them off.
Or as like one model.
Yeah, so you can really time that nicely with what do you call? I'm trying to remember the is there Overwhelm or something? Because one of the battle attacks. There's one where you pick like a galley veteran unit, isn't it? Well, hold an objective, you kill them, you get about something like that. Anyway, it's just it's another nice easy one just to pick to probably be able to achieve. So the next one you've got is Lust for Power. So pick one for any Slaves to Darkness hero that has the Eye of the Gods keyword. You complete this battle tactic if you roll on the Eye of the Gods table for that hero during this turn.
Doable.
Yeah, I think you can foresee that enough. It's not like, I really need to, like we said before, it's just you have to kill that enemy hero or monster. It's a lot more achievable now. So yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And
or you have your Lord on Carcadrag or something that is just gonna walk to a enemy controlled objective. Just walk it on there, roll on the table.
Yeah,
become Demon Prince.
Exactly.
Or Spawn.
Call Demon Prince, and then you've timed that in with the Follow the Path of the Glory. So all comes together. Completely random, but all comes together. So you've got that, and then you've got the March Ruin. So pick one for any Slaves to Darkness unit that includes a standard bearer with an enscrolled banner and is not within enemy territory. You complete this battle. Oh, sorry. Thought it was just that one paragraph. There goes on to the next page. You complete this battle tactic if at the end of this turn that unit is wholly within enemy territory and within 3 inches of any friendly units. That's achievable.
achievable, but a bit of a weird one. But
yeah, and scroll banner, is that just like a Chaos Warrior banner, stuff like that?
They work a little bit different. They are like relic banners, similar to what Stormcast has for
okay,
Holy, what are they called again?
So,
Holy inconveniences.
Oh, you're asking the wrong person.
They also have special relic abilities.
I got it up. I think them and
use once per game stuff. And now we
cool.
just have a banner. We get a banner that does extra effects, but it should be the next page, I believe.
Got you. We'll get to that in a moment. And then you've got the next one, which is Iconoclasts. Probably saying that really wrong. So pick one enemy unit that is a priest or a totem. You complete this battle tactic if that unit is destroyed at the end of this turn.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Kind of a little bit of a throwback, I feel like, to what they try to do with Idolaters a little bit. I remember there was an anti-priest thing there, which I think they try and forget. So you've got Champions of Chaos. You complete this battle tactic if at the end of your turn there are 3 or more friendly heroes within 3 inches of enemy heroes. Yeah, I think that's
I don't like that one.
Do you not?
Not
well,
really.
you're more Zeech though, aren't you? So your guys aren't really getting into combat, I imagine.
Yeah, true. But the other side is, why do you need 3 heroes to kill 1 hero most of the time? Or like, why do you want them all within 3 of the enemy hero? Like
because they're trying to kill an Archaean with a 2-up reroll and 1 save.
Yeah, I think. Or you're like, I have 200 points left. Let's just take 3 chieftains and just
to get
into some kind of hero.
Yeah, I mean, like you could be spread up, couldn't you? Because it's enemy heroes, but
yeah,
I don't know how many enemy heroes are going to be on the front line all spread up either.
Yeah. But then, do you want to charge 3 of your heroes into 3 other heroes or something? It's achievable, but
I think it's one of those where
you have to build for it.
You have to build for it, or it could be like very end towards the game and the points are quite close, and it doesn't really matter if your units die, but they've got 1 enemy hero left. You've got 3. Very, very specific, but like it could maybe be like that. You could definitely. So the question of why would you want to do it is definitely valid, but you could definitely achieve it. I think is the thing. And if you're going for the ultimate grand strategy, and that could win you again. It's just speculating and being a bit very situational. And then the last one, the next one is run them down. So, pardon me. You complete this battle tactic if at the end of your turn 3 or more friendly Slaves to Darkness units have made a charge move in that turn. Well,
nice and easy.
Yeah, nice and easy, nice and quick. We always like that. So going back to the grand strategy up here, do we think there are 4 battle tactics that are easy enough to score from this, depending on how you build your list? No.
Let's see.
I think the first one
power is very doable. Trial to Chaos is kind of iffy because you need to have no enemy units within 12, and with how crowded the board is, it can just randomly be like 1 weird skink or something just be in range. Because 12-inch radius is big because it's like you take your objective, add another extra 6 inches to it. There are no enemy models allowed there. So it can be hard.
Yeah,
it can be hard.
Again, it depends what you find as well, isn't it? If they're low unit count or low model count. But so you've got that. You've got. I feel like
I wouldn't take it.
No, I feel like
for a competitive list, like.
Yeah, I feel like 4 is achievable, but not particularly easy, and because that's what you're banking your grand strategy on, you put all your eggs in one basket, aren't you? Which is also a not very strong basket with that. So then going on to the next thing, which is going to be core battalions. So I think, again, I haven't read this, but I think they're the same as the one that are in White Dwarf by looks of.
Yep. Exactly the same. But now you have more incentive to actually play them, to be honest.
What's the reason behind that then?
So basically a lot of the units you want to take fit in this. You also, as far as I've read the book, you really want to decide who goes first.
Oh, okay, there's a big.
These
big
are both deployment armies, and like the Chaos Warband, you can easily fit like 5,000 points into that one if you want to.
Yeah, that's just an endless amount, isn't it?
Yeah, and well, we can now play Knights of the Empty Throne with just Faring Guards, so we can play 6 units of Faring Guards as a 1-drop, and that's your army.
Yeah, that could be a bunch of fun for you, couldn't it?
Yeah. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I got some Faring Guards.
How have you got so far?
I got ordered another 6, and I know a mate that has 12 laying around, so I should be fine. You can play 18 from the top of my head and still have 200 points spare.
Are you going to pay them all up?
Yes. At least I only have to borrow. I can borrow 6, so saves me some. It also saves me like £200.
Yes, really, really expensive models. Lovely models, but very expensive. I mean, I don't think we haven't got them. We've got Chosen, which are a bit similar, but it would have been really nice to see like on foot Vanguard. But I suppose that would kind of just be Chosen.
I'm waiting for on foot Archeon to return, to be honest.
Yeah, that'd be cool. What, like, so there's 2 variations. You could take the big, really expensive point model, or
or even funnier, a kind of variety concept where you first kill the mount, then Archeon goes walking around.
Yeah, that could be actually really quite interesting. It's kind of a bit like how the Lord of the Rings games play. I think like with that, you've always got to take like the character who's on the horse, for example. You've got to take a model of him off the horse. So yeah, be a cool concept. And I'm pretty like Archeon on foot. I mean, there's I think it was called the Wrath of the Ever Chosen. Was that book called? We had a picture of Archeon fighting Ostrich Bone Reapers, and he is big, isn't he? Like even on foot, he is.
Yeah, it's giant.
About what, 12 foot tall or something? Like
not that big, but he's like 7, like Space Marine. Pretty much a fucking Space Marine.
It's got to be. It's taller than that. It's about the same sort of size as the troll.
Skeletons aren't that big, to be honest, but because they're skinny. Yeah.
I'm trying to look. I've got a Rock Gut Troggoth in the cabinet, and I've got Archeon there. I'm trying to look, and I think he's with the armor on, not that much shorter than him. But anyway, a very scary presence to fight on the battlefield. So going on to the enchantment, starting with the command traits. So the first one, we've got Death Dealer. So once per battle, so this is for Slaves To Darkness heroes. That's the only restriction. Once per battle in the combat phase, after this general has fought for the first time in that phase, you can say that they will deal death. If you do so, this general can fight for a second time in that phase. The strike last effect applies to this general when they fight for the second time.
Hooray! Fight twice. Always good.
Yeah, always like that. That's always a nice one. It's not a fight twice in a row like, what Flesh Eater Courts kind of can do, but that's not really fun for anyone, unless obviously it's you. So then going on to the next one, we've got Favored of the Pantheon. So the Eye of the Gods, the Eye of the Gods hero only. After deployment, you can roll once on the Eye of the Gods table for that general. So I feel like, can we tie that into that battle tactic that was up there? Was that a thing?
No, because you to choose it at the start of the hero phase, basically.
Yeah, I don't really. I mean,
after deployment in the void, basically.
Yeah, if you really want a bit of fun, just go. Whoa, I really, I've got this war chief, war chieftain or the war queen. I really want to turn into a demon prince. That'd be a bit funny. But competitiveness, not very good. Then you got all arch sorcerer, so wizard only. So this general knows all the spells from the lore of the damned, in addition to the other spells. It knows. I like that. I think that's quite good. I know when I'm used to it being a big character like Nagash or something like that, where they just know all the lore spells. If it's an Northdrop Bone Reapers, for example, which has been really useful. But I think for any wizard, it's useful knowing the utility in that alone.
There are quite a few good spells in there, to be very honest. Sadly, Mask of Darkness is gone. Spoiler, but
that's a shame. I suppose that's why you got the Z. They've tried to put more pressure on you taking Zeech because you get the teleporters now, I imagine. So we've got the last one, which is Idolator Lord. So this is about the Idolators. So this general becomes a priest. In addition, you can choose to replace the undivided keyword on every undivided cultist unit in your army with one of the following keywords. Khorne, Zeech, Nurgle, Sinesh, all cultist units must be given the same keyword. It must be one this general has too. So as far as I'm aware at the moment, cultists can't take keywords. Is that a thing? They're just undivided. Is that right?
That's a good point.
I presume that's the benefit you get from this, rather than just your guy being a priest.
They might all have the undivided keyword by default. That's
I think they do, don't they? That's okay. While you're looking at, I'm going to get up aspects of Ascended. So Slaves to Darkness, Demon Princes only. Okay, that's cool. So we've got 6 to choose from for them. So not to be denied in each hero phase. Once you have carried out a heroic action, if you did not carry out the heroic action with this general, you can carry out an additional heroic action with this general. The heroic action carried out with this general cannot be the same as the other heroic action you carried out in this phase. Without looking at the others, I quite like that. But by not being able to do the same one is a bit annoying, but there has been times when I do like to do more than one heroic action, but obviously that's not a thing. So let's see what the other ones are, just to compare it to. We've got Bolstered by Chaos, so add 1 to the general's wound characteristics. In addition, this general becomes a monster, so it used to be this. You've got this in the current book, but it doesn't turn it into a monster, it just gets added 2 to the wounds. So being turned into a monster these days is more benefits than negatives, isn't it? Because you get the...
larger model count, larger monsters rampages.
Yeah, so I quite like that.
2 more wounds.
Yeah,
2 wounds
so
is good.
Demon Princes, I think in the current book anyway, are 8 wounds, so it takes up to 10, but I don't know what they are in the new one.
Yeah.
It might be the same. So yeah, that's nice. Then you've got Radiance of Dark Glory. So at the start of your hero phase, roll a dice for each friendly model within 9 inches of this general that has any wounds allocated to them. On a 3+, you can heal 1 wound from the model being rolled for. If the model being rolled for is a monster, on a 3+, you heal up to 3 wounds instead. Pardon me. I think that's quite good. Slaves to Darkness. The majority of the models in this army are multi-wound. You've got Marauders, you've got some cultists, but most things have at least 2 wounds, and then it goes 3 and upwards, obviously. So yeah, I like this. The way of doing it in the current book, what the spoilers had was similar to this, but it was you pick one of your units within, I think it was 18 inches of your general, and on a 3+ they heal D3 wounds. So shorter range. I think this is a bit better because it can heal more things. But we'll see. And then the next one we've got is Diabolical Majesty. So undivided only. Once per battle, when you carry out a heroic action with this general, you can carry out any one of the heroic actions on its war scroll, even if it does not have the required keyword. So I presume that's on the new Demon Prince has heroic actions on his war scroll then. Cool, so that's fine. We'll get to that in a moment. So that is that for the Demon Princes. And then Artifacts of Power, we've got Trophies of Conquest. So this is for Slaves to Darkness only, just the heroes, so no other requirements. Hellfire Sword, so pick one of the bearer's many weapons. If the unmodified wound roll for an attack made with that weapon is a 6, that attack causes a number of mortal wounds to the target equal to the weapon's damage characteristic, and the attack sequence ends. Do not make a save roll. It's okay. It doesn't really it doesn't really excite me that much.
No.
You want a bigger beat stick if you're going to be putting this on, and then you've got Helm of the Oppressor. So enemy units cannot receive the Inspiring Presence and Rani commands while they're within 6 inches of the bearer. I do like that.
That is really good.
That's huge, especially if you were to take. I mean, you might be going overkill here, but if you were to take a Morgasts, that ender spell that's Nagash's head, and if you were to create a huge area of no Inspiring Presence, if you really wanted to, that's really nice.
The one thing I do not like about it is the fact Archeon also has this 12-inch, but
he's got a 12-inch version.
Yeah.
Okay. But I suppose you could. So the question would be: would you want to take this as well if you've got Archeon? Like, would you want to put this on a hero as well, or create a big area of no Inspiring Presence, or really where Archeon is? But especially with the Vanguard going far, but because the Vanguard no longer need to hug Archeon to get the aura abilities, do they?
No.
For the Chaos Mark Chaos. So it's interesting, isn't it? It's like trying to figure out how it works, and then you've got. Number 3, Conqueror's Crown. So enemy models with a wound characteristic of 1 or 2 are within 6 inches of spare, cannot contest objectives, so you can switch off, Galley veterans.
Auto include.
Yeah, you've got the whole Galley vet thing is it doesn't matter they count as 3. They don't count as any. Well, obviously if they've got 2 or 1 wounds.
Nice 30 pinks you have there.
Yeah, exactly, right. So that is
what objective? This is my objective.
Exactly.
I am a queen.
I am amazing. So I really like that, and I like how we've read through these. How the first one was like, doesn't really excite me. It's all right, maybe. The second one's like, yeah, that's good, and then the last one's like,
oh, well, better.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Archeon has a better, and the last one's like, okay, so that's the one you're taking, so that's fine. We've established that. There's the auto include. It'd be around here somewhere. We found the auto include. There we go. So in case you're wondering, that was the Conqueror's Crown. So going on to the next one, we've got Chaos Esterica. Like, I am severe dyslexic, and this is testing me. This is what's that word?
I have no fucking idea because I am not an English major.
So that's it. That's an Englishman asking a Dutchman on what an English word is. But anyway, so
Chaos. I'm curious what it means.
Esterotica. I think that might be Esterotica. Yeah. I think that sounds like
Esterotica.
That sounds like a word. That's a thing that's to do with chaos. So Slaves to Darkness wizard heroes only. Okay, Max, are you listening? We've got Chaos Familiar. So once per battle at the start of your hero phase, you can say the bearer will call upon their Chaos Familiar. If you do so, the bearer can attempt to cast 1 additional spell in that hero phase, and the spell can be any from the Law of the Damned. The only thing that makes me not like this is when it's once per battle. Like, I think it's a bit weak for once per battle. Like, it's not. If it was you also cast it, I think that's really cool. But because it is just once per battle, you can attempt. Right. Well,
and Arcane Tome does it for permanent.
Yeah.
But, I'm not pretty sure we are gonna lose Arcane Tome. Just a hunch, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's coming. In the same way, when we stopped seeing a lot of the rerolls to save were going out, and then eventually we've lost it for Slaves to Darkness. It's going to come back around again. And then we've got Hobo from Zozo. It's just telling me how to pronounce it. So I think I am right. Thank you very much for that, Hobo. I'm glad there's one person listening who can actually speak and read English. Pardon me. And then we've got Infernal Puppet. So once per battle at the start of the enemy hero phase, you can pick 1 enemy wizard within 24 inches of the bearer, and it's visible to them until the end of their phase. Each time that wizard attempts to cast a spell, they suffer D3 mortal wounds before the casting roll is made. If the wizard is slain by these mortal wounds, the casting attempt fails. Do not roll the dice. That's quite nice, because a lot of the time when it's something like this, it's after the effects of the spell, they take mortal wounds, blah, blah, blah. So you could really shut someone down. You have got a big range on it, but it is only once per battle. So like if they are only casting one spell, it's not that
like
great.
If you have a Nagash running around on the other side, like you can just shut down Nagash for a turn.
Yeah, you could.
That is very good. And then the turn after that, be like, Be'lakor, do your thing.
Yeah,
then you shut down 900 points for 3 turns.
Yeah, that can really be good, because Be'lakor is a very easy inclusion in this army as long as his rules still the same. So yeah, if you're going against a Nagash, fantastic, right? Or something similar, or even a Lord Croak. I quite like to do that. Lord Croak be a bit funny.
Or quite a few very potent casters. So
yeah,
it's a good one if you have the space for it. Like
if you can include it in your army, it's pretty good.
Mess up plans like crazy.
And I think those big models are. I mean, okay, some things. Nagash is quite expensive for his points, etc. But you are seeing quite a few big, heavy casters and stuff on the table these days. Yeah. So you could run into them in tournaments, so it could be useful. And the Hover from Soda is just saying should be close to phonetic pronunciation. Erotica, forgot how to do it again, as in obscure. Thank you very much for that, Hobo. And then going on to the Helm of Eldritch Command. So this is the longest paragraph, so it better be the best. When the bearer attempts to dispel an endless spell, if the dispel roll is greater than the casting value of that endless spell, instead of it being dispelled, you can say the bearer has seized control of it. If you do so, the bearer now controls the endless spell in the same manner as if they had summoned it, and the model that summoned the endless spell does not control it. If that endless spell is later dispelled and summoned again, the bearer does not control it. I quite like this. Purple suns, turn around other things. I think that's quite nice.
Artifact version of the Lords of Change Spell Thief.
Oh, is it?
Yep. They changed Spell Thief to stealing other people's endless spells.
So that's turning. I mean, it's only 2 books, but that's turned into maybe a common thing. The Lumineth might have. I haven't read any of the Lumineth stuff, but I don't know if they got something similar.
Like you said, taking over Purple Suns is fun.
Yeah, it is, and it's a way to sort of deal with how powerful some of these spells can be. I suppose you don't know if the enemy's going to turn against you, but then it just kind of turns it back into what it was, where you couldn't rely on any spells in the first place. So we got that, and then going on to the next ones. What have we got next?
We should.
Scroll banners is what you were talking about earlier.
We should do one page further because there is one more page for Demon Prince artifacts.
Fantastic. So the first one is really, really simple. Helm of Many Eyes. The strike first effect applies to the bearer, which is the Demon Prince doesn't fight first anymore.
Nope.
Oh, that's really sad. Right. I suppose this is everyone always likes strike first, but it's really sad to know that they don't fight first anymore, because I thought that was really nice about them. Anyway, going on to the next one, Doombringer's Blade. So I was mentioning this earlier. So at the start of the first battle round, after setup is complete, but before the first turn begins, you can pick one enemy hero or enemy monster on the battlefield. If you do so, add 1 to wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by friendly units that target that unit. Exactly the same as it was, but it was locked into your despoiler units, but that was your whole army anyway. But now I suppose this helps if you've got allies. They would benefit from this as well, if that's relevant. But yeah, I did like this. It definitely was useful. And I do remember it was different now because it was re-rolls, I'm pretty sure, to hit and to wound for that. But still, adding 1 is good. Yeah. So I like the Doombringer's Blade. It sounds situational, but the enemy generally has a good hero or monster, if not both, that you want to kill. And then going on to the next one, we've got Realm Warper's Twisted Ruin. So once per battle in your hero phase, you can pick one terrain feature within 12 inches of the bearer and roll a dice for each model within 1 inch of that terrain feature. For each 6, and that model's unit suffers a 1 mortal wound. In addition, until your next hero phase, that terrain feature blocks visibility the same manner as a Wildwood. I feel like I'm never going to get that time back from reading that, am I? That's the worst. I don't like that because again, it's just reminding me that the Imprinters had the pitch black special rule from the spoilers where they could basically, it was really useful when I went to a tournament because I fought against Skaven and you could just move the imprints within 6 inches of terrain feature. Then it's just pitch black. The enemy can't draw a line of sight over it. So just kind of a reminder that I presume the spoilers no longer have that.
Don't completely remember. I thought they still had a version of it. I believe it was a comment point that now, but we will see that.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. But anyway, I feel like it's not the and I remind when I go like, well, maybe you know, on average you might do quite a few more wounds, each turn, and they go, oh no, once per battle. There's quite a few once per battle things in here.
Yeah, which is like that now.
Yeah, but it makes it easier to choose the ones that are better. I would probably for this choose the Doombringer's Blade. I think is the best out of these three from my experience as well.
Or have Strike First, because that is also just still sure, why not?
Yeah, I'm just used to not working towards getting Strike First. You just get it free on a silver plate.
To be honest, you would also always just take the Conqueror's Crown.
Yeah, was that just a generic save start hero? Oh yeah. We don't need to read these ones.
That is way too good.
Exactly. And then going on to Inscribed banners. So let's read the start, shall we? So an Inscribed banner, this is what you explain it, but for word, it says an Inscribed banner is a unique enchantment. You can always take one Inscribed banner enchantment for a Slaves to Darkness army. Each time you take a Inscribed banner enchantment, you can pick one Inscribed banner from the table below and give it to one standard bearer in a Chaos Chosen, Chaos Warrior, or Chaos Knight unit in your army. If a rule allows you to take an extra enchantment, you can take an Inscribed banner enchantment as that extra enchantment. But if you do so, you cannot pick the same Inscribed banner from the table below more than once. You cannot give an Inscribed banner to a unit that already has it. So same as an artifact, essentially, isn't it?
Yeah.
The wording on it. So you know when it says you can always take one Inscribed banner enchantment, does that mean you're going to have to choose if you want an artifact or you want an Inscribed banner, or you just get one?
You get one.
Okay, that's cool.
Free.
So you don't have to pick. It's nice that you get one. So it means that the battle tactic we're ever looking at, where you need to get an Inscribed banner guy to do something in the enemy territory, would be in range of your guys. You always have a chance of doing that. So that's cool. Going on to icons of chaos. So the blasphemous icon. So while this model is on the battlefield, subtract 1 from chanting rolls for prayers chanted by priests that do not have the chaos keyword.
Very handy against what's it? Orcs have very potent priests, and skinks. Skink priests are very potent. So, and Stormcast, of course, for the redeploy.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, that could be useful.
Having a -1 can do a lot.
And as long as your guy doesn't die, just a nice passive ability, isn't it? So that's quite nice. And then you got the Dread banner. So undivided units only. Each time this unit rolls on the Eye of the Gods table, you can roll 2 dice instead of 1 and pick 1 to be used as your roll. Good. It specifically obviously says this unit, but still not bad. Still okay.
Fun thing about this one is specifically is because you can give it to Chosen. Chosen are allowed to roll once on the table at the start of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So you can roll 2 and get that +1 rent.
Yeah, that's true.
So
and again,
it's free, so why not?
Yeah, exactly. It's an extra rent, isn't it? So yeah, okay, that is quite good. Then you've got the banner. Yeah, I quite like that.
So I think you generally take this one, the third one.
What's that? The banner of
rage.
Yeah, especially so Khorne unit only. Add 1 to the wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by this unit. Yeah, so like I say, if you're Khorne, that's obviously very, very good. But if you're not Khorne, then like you said, Max, trying to get that extra end is very nice. So then we've got the blasted. I am liking that they are. It might restrict you, but I'm liking that there are some god-specific stuff now, where it's been all quite generic so far. So you've got the blasted standard. So it's each unit only. So this unit has a ward save of 4 up for attacks made with missile weapons that target this unit. Do you think that's particularly good as each player?
A 4-up ward against missile weapons is always good to have. Like, would I honestly really take siege units in a Slaves to Darkness army? Not really, outside the sorcerers, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because you get a 6+. The only benefit you get is the 6+ spell ignore. So it's not that useful. Like, I take the wizards all day for the spell, because teleportation spells are good.
But what's the real benefit of taking Chosen, Knights, and Warrior?
Yeah,
this is each base, isn't it?
Yeah, there is basically none, not over Nurgle, Slanesh, or Khorne, or Undivided.
Yeah, of all 5, like they're not terrible, but there's no real benefit out of all 5 of them to take that one. So you've got Eroding Iron. So sorry, Eroding Icons. This is Nurgle, so unit only, so it has to be Nurgle. So worse than the Rin Cash, many weapons used by enemy models by 1 while they are wholly within 12 inches of this unit. So
very good.
Yeah, the wholly within range is a bit harder, but if you're in combat with that enemy unit, there definitely should be wholly within range of 12 inches of you, unless they're really massive unit.
Yeah, but you can take like 5 knights. I don't know if that's gonna be really safe, but still you can just move them around and have like an aura of -1 rend.
Yeah, that's true.
You can do that. Wholly within 12, and 12 is a pretty big area.
Mm-hmm. No, it's huge, isn't it? So that's nice. So yeah, like I say, especially on knights, massive base size, large chunk, especially in the battlefield, encapsulate most things. And then you got the banner of Screaming Flesh. So Slanesh units only, add 1 to the attack characteristics of this unit's melee weapons if this unit made a charge move in the same turn. Yeah, they're really, like you say, they really are focusing on just trying to get you to charge, aren't they? So I like this. Slanesh can get the charge. They better do, or their bonuses they're going to have towards it. Yeah, I like it. It'd be nice if it was just all the time +1 to attack, but then it would make it seem a lot better than some of the others. But yeah, I think the Khorne is the best out of all this. So if you're a Khorne player, you're going to be very happy. And the Undivided one's nice.
Khorne is very good because it's stable, because it just always works. Nurgle, very good because it also generally just always works. Like, chuck it on anything and you have value.
Yep.
Slanesh is still very good because getting +1 attack on something like Chosen that do mortal wounds in addition for 6s, like you're either looking for more attacks or looking for rerolls. Now, rerolls, Games Workshop do not like them.
Nope.
So remove them. So best thing we can get is more attacks.
Yep, more chances of getting it. Yeah. I'm quite happy with the Slaanesh one because I was disappointed with the mark a little bit. So nice to have some extra attacks here. You're not getting exploding sixes, but at least you're getting some straight attacks here, which is nice. And it's nice how, I don't know, obviously because Chaos Warriors, I suppose, are more about survival. Chaos Knights and Chaos Chosen are more about punching. It's nice that there aren't any like pointless abilities, if you like. You know, the unit once per battle can pick an enemy unit within 3 inches, and on a 3-up they take D3 more. You know, saying as those sort of pointless things. You see every Battletome has something like that. It's nice to see they're all quite useful. Let's say, I mean, if you really wanted your Chaos Warriors units to survive an objective, and you think the enemy's going to have a lot of shooting, maybe each. Yeah, most of them are generally quite good. And then skim through that bit because we've done that. Then going on to the spell laws. So, the Law of the Damned. So, in the book that's currently out for Slaves To Darkness, the spells are quite good. So, like you say, Max, it sounds like they're going to be good in this one as well.
Yep. So it's still the same.
Still the same
in function at the very least. Because it just gives you strike last still.
Yep. Okay,
it's the same thing it did before. Or did it also do some mortal wounds? I do not remember that. The main focus of the spell was getting strike last on a unit, which is in the style of the army this book is very good to have it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And let's see what we got. So let's see what the changes are. So obviously, Slaves To Darkness hero wizards, including unique. So that's obviously Archaon and everyone else. Be'lakor can have them. So we've got Bind and Damnation. So casting 7 and a range of 12. So you pick one enemy unit within range and visible to the caster until your next hero phase. Strike last effect applies to that unit, and that is the same as it was before. I think it was. Don't think it was 18, was it? I think it was 12. So remember the spells, like we were saying, the spells are quite short range, aren't they? What they are currently in the book.
Yeah, that's a trend. They are also doing shortening ranges of stuff because the board became smaller. So
that makes sense.
18 inches is a bit too much. Like a lot of the scene spells also went from 18-inch range to 12-inch range.
And they're trying to encourage more bloodshed, aren't they, in the games? I think they're a bit closer.
And it's kind of dumb to be shot from the other side of the board.
Yep, that's true.
Like I had to play against the not the Sylvanet, the Seraphon yesterday, and that was very fun because they have anti-demon rules and they have 24-inch range guns.
Yeah.
And that is basically the entire board because they can just move and shoot.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Seraphon either. Again, that was before this. Before the boards got smaller.
But if that moves back to 18, it's a lot more manageable.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. And then maybe one day we'll see that. And then Spiked on Curse is the same as it was before. And then Chaotic Conduit. So Chaotic Conduit. Yeah, that's new, wasn't it? It's a spell and has casting value of 7 and a range of 12 inches. If successfully cast, pick one friendly Eye of the Gods unit within range that is visible to the caster. You can immediately roll on the Eye of the Gods table. They're really pushing the Eye. I'm a big fan of that. Big fan of that. The Eye of the Gods table, they're really pushing. So yeah, I like that. I think that's quite good, especially where, I mean, come from someone who's just done a Slaves To Darkness, taken Slaves To Darkness to a tournament. And I had 4 spells to cast. Chaos Lord Manticore, Arcane Tome cast 2 spells. Be'lakor casting 2 spells. So that's 4 spells in total. And in my first hero phase, especially if I was chosen to go first, it was kind of one of those things where I was like, right, well, I can cast 2 spells now. And then I've got nothing to do with my other 2 spells I can cast. So this is a perfect example. You could do, turn 1, no enemy in range, nothing else in range. Why not do that? So yeah, I quite like that spell, to be fair.
Get an extra end.
Yeah, exactly. Get an extra end, turn something into a Demon Prince. That's what I'm looking at. And then you've got Ruinous Vigor. So Ash has a cast of 6. Yeah, was it cast? Yeah, it probably was, wasn't it? Yeah, so that's good. Obviously, you've got a monster, stuff like that. Yeah. Demonic Speed is new.
That is a new one.
So and we've got
best spell we got, to be very honest.
Yep. So Demonic Speed has cast value of 6 and a range of 12 inches. So successfully cast, pick one friendly Slaves to Darkness unit that has a mount and is wholly within range and visible to the caster until the start of your next hero phase. You can attempt to charge with that unit within 80 inches of the enemy instead of 12. In addition, roll 3d6 instead of 2d6 for a charge made for that unit until the start of your next hero phase. Yep, so that's always very good. We've seen that rule scattered around the Age of Sigmar since the start. And very rarely.
And I was always jealous I didn't have it.
No, you didn't have it. No, there was no way to get NZ or anything.
Nope.
All right.
We had auto charges, but that's a different story.
I say auto charge, but never charge in the 18. You can never guarantee that one.
No,
you can do it.
But hey, you had Archeon that moved 32 inches, so
yeah. That's I suppose. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the spells. I like it that they didn't really change them too much, but we only get 5, is it? Because Zeech has the other one.
Oh yeah.
One. So that's sad. I mean, as much as I appreciate there's a little bit of artwork, I'd much rather another spell be there. So apart from that, though, cool. And then we've got
the Legions. Yeah,
the Legions. Yep, here we go. So you can pick basically one of these Legions. I imagine that's exactly what that blurb says there. So you can carry out. Okay, so you've got the Host of the Ever-Chosen, Legion of the First Prince, the Spoilers, Cabalists, Ravagers, Knights of the Empty Throne. You got Vows of Darkness, so you can carry out one of the following heroic actions with a friendly Slaves of Darkness hero with the Eye of the Gods keyword instead of any other heroic actions you carry out with that hero. So you've got Pledge to the Dark Gods. Pick one friendly Slaves of Darkness hero with the Eye of the Gods keyword until the end of that turn. Each time you roll on the Eye of the Gods table for the hero, you can roll 3 dice and pick any of the 2 dice you rolled. So that's good as well. You know, get extra end.
Really
try and turn
pushing that Eye of the Gods.
Oh, really pushing, aren't they? Like it started off with, I think I was saying that, oh yeah, we like the idea of the Eye of the Gods, I think, and then it's just turned to, yeah, well, I hope you like the idea because we're really going to force it down your throat. But I'm not complaining. I like how
it's a real shame they removed the summon 10 pinks.
Yeah, that's gone now, isn't it?
Well.
Probably for the best. Then you got draw on power. So pick one of the friendly Slaves of Darkness wizards until the end of that turn. When making casting rolls with that wizard, roll 3 dice instead of 2. However, if the unmodified roll on 2 or more of the dice is a 1, the spell miscast and the caster suffers D6 mortal wounds instead of D3.
Very worth it.
Yeah, I think the risk reward factor there is very much in your favor. So
you can also just plop down the Chronomatic Hawks and have rerolls.
Yeah, I paid that Chronomatic Hawks for that tournament because it's just so good. I think it's like 40 points. I was like, why would I not take? I'm only casting 4 spells, and why would I not take it? Basically, So
and you can get the highest possible casting roll in the game because even Zinch cannot roll an 18.
No, good.
They can I did do 16 yesterday, though.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I don't think I've had it too much playing against each, but I remember like playing against some Seraphon things. They roll the caster dice. They got like an 11, and you've got 1 unbind left, and you go, "Well, I might as well try." And then they'll get the croak guy. Okay, oh yes, that's actually like 14, and you're like, "Oh, fine." Yeah. But I say all this. I'm no better. I remember the days.
Can also roll 16.
Yeah, I remember the days of being Nagash and going like, "Oh, that's a 14. You need to unbind." And people go, "Oh, well, I can't physically unbind that." And it's like, yes, I know, but I thought I'd just keep you aware that you had a chance to. So yeah, there's a a cast and dick in every army. And then we go on to Damn Legions. I just want to check the chat before we do, because Guel again is here. So what is Guel saying? So in the last book, the base things like Marauders and Chaos Warriors were all about combat, with a lot of the books shooting coming from cultists. I wonder if that will still be the thing. So I think, it probably will. I mean, Chaos Warriors used to be more survivable. I've seen their new Warscroll on this. They're less survivable now, so even more aimed towards combat. There's not really much shooting.
For some reason, Slaves to Darkness are racist against shooting.
Yeah, it's racist as the racist swords used to be.
I can have a sword.
Yeah, I
but they cannot imagine throwing the sword.
Yeah, it's. I think the sort of one of the reasons behind, I don't know if it's because like it's like really not dark age technology, but like really far behind in technology because they're all just evil and they want to stab things. But like, well, Zeech likes to cast spells. Nurgle wants to corrupt things, spread contagions. So let's just really want to kill things in the first place. So death by 1,000 cuts from arrows would be a better thing. Blissbarb archers as an example. I don't know. Like, surely, like some war bands go, you know what? There's actually a Skaven Burrow nearby. They've got some great like Warpstone sniper rifles. Should we buy some of those? No. Why is that? Because we're going to do the same plan. What, the plan we've done 12 other times where we just charge straight at the enemy and we die? Yes, but this time it'll work.
Do
we just buy a couple of guns just to be safe? Like, it does make me laugh.
Yeah, like we can ally in some things, but there is no Chaos Artillery. The only Chaos Artilleries are Skaven, and that's the only thing we're not allowed to ally with.
Yeah, well, it's very much like, as a Death player, it reminds me of like there's not really any shooting in Death, apart from there's one of the armies of the catapult. It's like, right, where do we jump from a really good shooting unit to no shooting? Like, it's the same for Chaos. Even Destruction, you don't get too much, or it's not good. It's more like death by 1,000 cuts. It's only really sort of order. Well, no, okay, you got Skaven, like you just said, that have the shooting really. But yeah, then Guel's also saying that, I like it. Like it or not, Eye of the Gods is what this book wants you to do. Like we say, we agree with that. But I'm a big fan of the Eye of the Gods, so it's nice to see them. But where it's gone from completely like, here's like a nice fluffy lore thing that you might get off maybe, to like, yes, this is what you want to build your army around. So
I just hope that box comes with a bunch of tokens. For the boss.
I remember, so I've got the what do you call it? The Warscroll pack. I've got this thing for the Warscroll cards and stuff. And it's like, with all the tokens you get from here, the one token you don't actually get is Ocular Vision, which is the the free thing from the Sorcerer Lord to get.
My favorite ability.
Your favorite ability, the ability that most people are doing in the army, because it's free and they don't give you a token for it, but they give you loads of Battleshock tokens because that's really useful. So
it's now more useful, so I would keep them.
I wouldn't chuck away. I definitely haven't thrown them away at all.
We have now Archeon that's being a living horror cast.
Yeah, that's lovely. It's like try unbinding him, will you? So going on to the Damn Legions, we've got Host of the Everchosen. Talk about Archeon.
Yeah.
So when a Host of the Everchosen unit, that is a Chaos Chosen, Chaos Knight, Chaos Warrior, or Varangard unit, receives the Rani command, you can return a 1 slave model to that unit on a 4+. Instead of I'm already smiling because I'm just thinking about running, obviously, like you say, loads of Varangard. On a 6. In addition, exactly. You can pick 1 additional unscrolled banner enchantment for your army. So what's that? Instead, on a 6, you can pick one.
Normally you rally on a 6.
Oh, so you get to pick a I get that. But
you rally on 4 up instead of 6.
Got you, but just like halfway through the game, you could get like another enchantment. You could get another banner.
Oh no, you start with an extra banner.
Oh, sorry, I missed the full stop there and everything. So instead of a 6, I get okay.
So in theory, you can easily get 3 banners this way, because you get 1 free from the book itself.
I see.
Plus 1 from the Everchosen chosen, and you can take an extra enhancement.
Yep.
With the battalion.
You're right, and I was about to say, well, it's not really relevant though, because like obviously most of them are marked Pacific, but now, obviously with the new book, it's like, well, it doesn't really matter too much on your mark. Like your whole army doesn't have to be one mark. Where before it was very beneficial to do that. Now you can take now you can have a Nurgle unit to get that minus rend. Well, a negative to the minus rend, worse than the rend. So yeah, I like that, and I've always liked Host the Everchosen. But it's like I know this is how sub allegiances are going now and sub factions, but it does always make me
feel like two abilities, like just a few lines.
Yeah, it does always make me just feel, just a little bit sad. Like I've asked to show, like obviously with the Host of the Everchosen thing, it's like in this whole book, like like two cool pages, and they didn't even have room for artifacts.
Yeah,
they? And they
forgot.
As they did Nihilators. So I know that's not anything bad about this book. That's just how the game is going. But it's a bit sad. But I know there's probably like more generic abilities in the army maybe that comes from. But I'm happy with that. That's nice. If you're going to lose some abilities, at least what they've got is good. Because I mean, the Randy on a 4, even just like you lost, I don't know, 7 Chaos Warriors so far. You just roll them, like the lowest of the low of units here is still useful. So then the Legion of the First Prince, so the opposite of Archaon. So at the start of your hero phase, you can pick. So this is the favor of the 4. At the start of the hero phase, you can pick one Legion of the First Prince undivided unit, and then pick one of the following marks of the Chaos keywords: Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle, or Slaanesh. That unit has that mark of Chaos unit. The start of your next hero phase, in addition to the undivided mark of Chaos. Quite good. Depends what you really want.
2 marks is good, especially when you can just select them in the start at the hero phase. Like they keep the undivided ones in that. What did that do again? Extra Eye of the Gods.
Yay. It's good. I just feel like if you're going Khorne or something, it's quite good because obviously on the charge you get that extra 1 attack. But a lot of the extra bonuses from the marks of Chaos were from that command, weren't they? From that command ability.
The more interesting ones, yeah.
Yeah.
So you would probably say like 90% of the time take Khorne. But...
Yeah. So yeah, if you are taking Khorne, obviously then it's very, really good. And then designer's notes. If you pick a wizard unit to have the Tzeentch mark of Chaos, it knows the Warp Reality spell until the start of your next hero phase. So that gets you your teleport if you're worried about not having that. And then you've got Infernal Servant. So allied Bloodletters, Horrors of Tzeentch, Plague Bearers, and Demonettes units benefit from the marks of Chaos traits as they had their Slaves to Darkness keyword. That could be, I mean, off the top of my head, I'm not really too sure how effective that is, but there could be some interesting combos there, potentially.
Yeah, at the very least, we don't play fucking Soup anymore, so I'm happy for that. So I don't have to chuck around like 5 different books or 7 different pages from 5 different books.
Yeah.
It's now nice and condensed.
Just makes it
the other trend they're really doing, minimizing Soup.
Yeah,
which is kind of sad, but
I quite like Soup. I like the idea of
I see how it was problematic.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of. I mean, you asked my opinion. My favorite time of Age of Sigmar was when the first General's Handbook came out because that was just like had points, had everything I needed, and I could just run mixed grand alliances, and it was absolutely fantastic. I understand that was not the most balanced way or the most probably preferred way for most people, but I really enjoyed having the freedom of taking what you wanted and putting it on the tabletop. So yeah, it's a shame. It's it's another step away from that. But going on to the next one, we've got Cabalists. So the blasphemous rituals. So Cabalist heroes become wizards if the hero is already a wizard. They can attempt to cast 1 additional spell in each of your hero phases and know 1 additional spell from the Law of the Damned spell law. So that's good.
Yeah.
Flat out, I like that.
Wizards.
Yep. from Slaves to Darkness, what you used to do is take lots of heroes. That's because you needed them to pass on the mark. So I don't know if people will be taking less heroes now and more units. So we'll have to wait and see. But if you are taking lots of heroes, then obviously that's good. In addition, if you carry out the draw on power heroic action with a Cabalist hero, you can immediately carry out the same heroic action with each other Cabalist hero within 3 inches of the first. If you are, obviously, be careful being all that close to each other, but that's quite good. Like, obviously you could be getting loads of spells off if you really wanted to. Going on to the next one, which is the spoilers. So, and again, it's nice just to see that all of the legions are being put into one book. Like you said, you don't have to carry around loads of books and everything. You don't have to bring your Wrath You Ever Chose and all that sort of thing.
Draw on power again.
I draw. That's the
heroic action. Yeah, I rolled 3 dice for
the high reward, low risk one. I think. So going on to the spoilers, so the favored and the curse. So add 2 to the wounds characteristic of friendly the spoiler monster units. In addition, each the spoiler's demon prince can be given a command trait in addition to your general, which can be used as if they were, a general. Each command trait must be different. So it kind of looks like, I haven't read Ravengers yet, but that's basically what Ravengers was. Ravengers used to be, they could have command traits, couldn't they? Like each of your heroes. Yeah. But it was funny because like they could all have command traits as long as they're not demon princes. And now it's like you can have loads of command traits as long as you are demon princes. So it's like a reverse on that. Actually, the wound characteristic of the spoiler monsters is good. Not as good as what it used to be, I think. Because you could heal wounds and everything, and there was I don't know if it's on the Warscrolls or something, but there was the trying to turn things to pitch black so you can see through them and stuff. And there was the 5-up ward save for your general. But again, that's what happens when you go from 2 pages down to a paragraph of rules, isn't it? But what is there is good. Going on to Ravengers, we have got a Rally the Tribe. So you can carry out the following heroic action with a Ravengers hero instead of any other heroic action you can carry out with the hero. So, pardon me again. We go Rally the Tribes, pick 1 Chaos Marauder. Yeah, for only Chaos Marauders back again. So, Marauders, Marauder Horseman, Cultist, or Dark Oath unit in your army that has been destroyed. If you do so, a new replacement unit with half the number of models in the unit that was destroyed, rounding up, is added to your army. Set up that unit wholly within 12 inches of the hero. Carry out this heroic action, wholly within 12 inches of the hero carrying out this heroic action, and more than 9 inches from all enemy units. Each destroyed unit can only be replaced once. Replacement units cannot themselves be replaced. So that's okay. I feel like there's a few things in the game that, like, a few armies have a similar rule. It's not as good as what it was before, I would say.
You get back automatically, though.
You do get what?
You just pay in command point. You don't even pay in command point.
Heroic action. Yeah.
You use your heroic action, and boom, you get a unit cultist back.
I feel which is nice, half the models. But what I feel like is, if you really wanted to push it, it did cost you a lot of command points before, but you could just keep on bringing on new units. Where this is like, how many units are you going to have die to bring back?
Yeah,
it's easier to spend the resource to do it, if you will, but it's a bit. I mean, firstly, also Ravagers are now all your guys, as long as they're not Demon Princes, can't take command traits and stuff. It's okay. I think, people.
It's weird they only get 1 thing, though. All the others have 2 things.
Yeah, well, the other things have a paragraph that says something, and then in addition, right? In addition.
Yeah, and they're like,
in addition,
there's 1 heroic action. Okay.
Yeah, allied. Well, they got 2 things, didn't they? And then, in addition, yeah. What does make me laugh though when they do write these rules, they say like, in addition, like this, monsters get 2 wounds, blah blah blah, 2 extra wounds, and then in addition, Doom Princes can take extra command. That's not an addition. That's a completely different rule. Let's put that as a separate paragraph, like because otherwise you forget those things and you lose it. So yeah, that's Ravager's a bit sad by them, really. They don't excite me.
They, oddly enough, do that for the Knights of the Empty Throne and just put a new paragraph down.
Yeah, exactly. So with the Knights of the Empty Throne, you've got the Unmatched Conquerors. So Knights of the Empty Throne units have a mount and can run. So if they've got a mount, they can run and still charge in the same turn. So lovely, we like that. Dread
fucking army.
Yep, Dread Lieutenant. So when you pick the general for your army, if Archaon is not included in the army, you can pick a model in a friendly Vanguard unit to be your general. If you do so, that unit gains the leader profile. In addition, if the general issues the Rani command and a friendly Vanguard unit receives it, you can return 1 slave model to that unit on a 5+ instead of a 6. Designer notes the general cannot be given command trait as if it was a hero. And then also 1 model in the Vanguard unit is the general. Where I think, what's there before? Was there there was some sort of...
Yeah, it was a full unit that was a general.
Yeah.
They were all generals, basically. So you got weird things like you could turn them into a monster, and they became all monsters, so they counted as 30.
Yeah.
Or 35, actually. So there was a bit of weird, wacky stuff with that.
For the best. I think it's nice that it's cleared up. Either way, it's just nice to have it done. Yeah, so that's good. Obviously, getting the rally as well on a 5+ is very good. You'll be having, well, you just mentioned how many Vanguard models you could have in your army, haven't you? You can have 18, 200 points spare, roughly, off the top of your head. That's what you get, isn't it?
Yeah, 260 or something.
Yeah, 18 is a very nice amount of dice to roll to be looking for 5s.
And the one major drawback Vanguard always had was not having run and charge. Because 10-inch was okay, but it was always just a bit too short.
Yeah, what I remember is there was a case of, what do you call it? I used to run Vanguard back to DS a couple of years ago. What was it? Lockdown, and I found it was a case of you would have to really plan your turns. You know, the whole thing that Archaon could do, he could basically, without your knowing, he could see who was going to go next. You would have to really use that ability to the best of your advantage, because you would have to go, right, my Vanguard can only move 10 inches, so I'm not going to be able to move up and charge this turn. I'm going to have to really sort of plan, and then your opponent could be able to tell what your sort of plan was, because they could tell who was actually going to get the next turn and how you move your Vanguard. So like you say, it's nice just to see. Again, Archaon's not taking this army, but you can see where I'm coming from that.
One thing I also realized with this also just gives Archaon run and charge, which is fun. Because there is no limitation anymore for taking Archaon in anything, because he can also just be in Legion of the First Prince. I don't know if you want that, but well, you can do it.
I suppose if you take him in this,
you lose the general for General Vanguard and the 5+ rally, but
if you make Archaon Zeech, not Zeech, right? You make him Slaanesh and you give him the Slaanesh command, he's running and charging. Life from the Mark of Chaos abilities.
Yeah.
Could be an interesting way of doing it.
It's also a possibility.
What does he move? 14? Archaon. Does he move 14?
Yeah.
Which 14. sounds like a lot, but with his base, it's quite hard to move around table, isn't it? Yeah. So that is nice.
So and then having the possibility to just run 6 extra and move 20 is really big.
Yeah, that is
might
big.
Just mean you can get over that one piece of building he's hiding behind, stuff like that.
Yeah, I get you. So going on to the Warscrolls now. I haven't actually got loads of time left until I have to start work because, again, I talk forever, and I talked about we had a lovely chat about all the. And I think all the abilities we have gone over are also the kind of what the big things that have changed. There have been tweaks in Warscrolls and everything. So what I'm probably going to do is in the next few days, I'll do a second part video to this of the Warscrolls, because the other alternative I have is going through the Warscrolls now and having about 5-10 minutes to do so, which I can do, but it might be a bit rushed. I mean, I'm happy to do that if people think that would be better. If you want me just to give you my overall thoughts on them now, I can do that. But you might want
let's just see what the points did, because there are a few fun changes in there.
Yeah. Okay. Because I can tell you things like Chaos Lord and Carcatrack. The only thing he's got is like the Chaos Knights, the Knights of Chaos ability. That allows them to
give it to all the Chaos Lords.
They gave it to all the Chaos Lords. Cool. So that's just as soon as he's fought, he can pick a Chaos Knight, Chaos Chariot, or Gorbis Chariot, and they can fight straight away after him. Again, if you want, my really in-depth reviews on these units, I will be doing like that when I actually have the Battletome in my own hands and I bought it for myself. This was going to be just a quick reaction. We've actually talked about things really in depth. But going on to things, let me zoom out a bit on that. So did we have the points of the of what's changed in that thing we had?
Sadly not.
Okay, no worries. Well, what I'll do is I'll quickly go through the Warscrolls. So yeah, Chaos and Carcatrack pretty much stay the same, apart from the extra abilities got. The extra command, I believe is Chaos Warriors. They've got +1 to the save now because they're saving on 3-ups. They've got Rend on their murderous weapons. What's the okay? So Inscribed Hellbird is presumably there'll be an upgrade sprue, or when you can buy these models separately when the whole launch comes out, because I've seen them in banners and stuff, etc. You can give them Hellbird, so that's new as well. You can add one. This is also new, Bringers of Desolation. You can add one to the attack characteristics of this unit's melee weapons while it is wholly within enemy territory or wholly within 12 inches of objectives. So that's good. You can definitely turn these guys into quite big blenders. Take this, put the Slanesh banner on them if you want to as well. If they charge as well, that's 4 attacks each for a Chaos Warrior unit. Pretty good. I said that they used to be quite survivable. It's changed now, made them more aggressive. I didn't realize they actually got that +1 to save they had via an ability into their Warscroll, so that's good to see. You still got the Chaos Wound, Rune Shield abilities for 5 at Ward. Ogroid, Firm Charges. Haven't actually reviewed these ones yet. So 6-inch move, 5+ save, Bravery 6, 5 wounds. Depending on how you want to load them out. So with one of the following weapon options, so you can give them a Goron Falcon with a shield, a Goran Great Axe, or models in this unit must be armed with the same weapon. Okay, so if you go with a shield, they have a save category of 4 instead of a 5. And then the attack for that is 2-inch range, 3 attacks, 3 to hit, 3 to win, -1 rend, 2 damage. And then the Goran Great Axe is you forsake the shield, you get 2-inch range, 3 attacks, 3 to 3, -2, 3 damage. I'd be tempted to go with that because I think these guys are probably more like heavy hitters from what I can quickly see. Berserker Rage, add 1 to the wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by this unit if any wounds or mortal wounds were allocated to this unit in the same phase. So that's quite good again, but only the saver of 5 up. You're going to go the great weapons. They've got 5 wounds. They are chunky, but you don't want to lose one in the sake of trying to get +1 to wound. So pick your battles with that, really. Unleash Savagery. Once per battle, when this unit is picked to fight, you can say they will unleash their savagery. If you do so, add 1 to the attack characteristics of this unit's melee weapons until the end of that phase. So that's nice. We like that. However, this unit cannot receive the Inspiring Presence command in the same turn that they unleash their savagery. I think you've probably timed that quite well, so it wouldn't be a problem. That's that Ungroid So until I read the points, I quite like them. I think they're quite good. Going on with Be'lakor.
Be'lakor, still completely the same, but he's 5 points cheaper now.
Oh, nice, because I think it was definitely worth his points before, so I'll take him 5 points cheaper. Very nice.
Yeah. Chosen, yay.
Chaos Chosen, I'm pretty sure they had a 4-up save before, so that's nice. Yep. And I can't remember if they had 3 or 2 wounds.
They had 2.
They're 2, so that's nice. They are chunkier.
Nice glow up.
Yep, they've got Soul Splitter Axe.
Roll 1s on the Eye of the Gods, so that's fun.
Ones. That's cool. That'll help them get the extra minus from Rend, like we're talking about. They've got 3 attacks, 2-inch range, freeze the hit, freeze the wound, minus from Rend, and 2 damage. We then go
and they can fight twice, which is fucking big.
They fight twice, can they? Once per battle. Yeah, that's really quite cool. And then the other thing as well is if the unmodified hit roll for an attack made with this guy is 6, 1 mortal wound in addition to normal damage. That's the same as it was before. Because remember, with my Slanesh, I had to choose. I wanted to explode 6s, or I wanted to get the mortal. So it's nice that I'll be benefiting from this if you want, because I don't have a choice. And yeah, like you say, they get to fight twice. So they're really, Chosen are going to be big. Lots of people are going to have Chosen because you're going to get them in that big box set. If you really want Slaves of Darkness, or you really like Slaves of Darkness, you'll be buying that box set. Presumably, I know I am. Most people I know who like Slaves of Darkness are buying their box sets coming out for them, where you get the limited edition Battletome, the Ogroid guys, and then Demon Prince and 10 Chosen. So I think you will see a fair amount of Chosen on the battlefield. People maybe even buy multiple of those boxes for that. And then with Archaon, we got a fair few changes here, Max, have we?
We have a new month, a completely new page of rules.
A completely new page of rules, right?
Yep.
Well,
everything is rewritten except for War Master.
Okay, so I'll cover this in more detail next time. Have you read through him already?
Yep.
Do you like him? I'll do a proper review of Archaon another time, guys. But
he's different, but hits less now because of other busts the army lost. But he has 25 wounds.
Yeah, so. He's tanky. Is he still worth his points, would you say?
I have to test it.
Yeah, but not a write-off. Like,
no.
You wouldn't say necessarily he's got a lot worse.
It's like a combination of everything you once had. Like, yeah, instead of the -1 to hit or the reroll 6s, he now has the initiative roll thing you got from Host of the Everchosen. Crown of Dominion, that was a bravery debuff, is now the same as the Crown Relic. So no rally, no inspiring presence within 12. So with a base the size of 12-inch or 6 1/4 actually, is a very big bubble.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And he has 5 ward save now against everything, but 4+ mortal wound save.
So 5 at ward is probably better overall, isn't it?
Overall better, but a bit worse on the mortal wounds. So he takes a bit more wounds that way, but also saves more. So
I suppose it's no longer saving on 2s, you're rolling 1s, is he? So
yeah,
it could help. Okay, so that again, like if you guys really want me to review this stuff more in depth, you can let me know before the Battletome comes out. That's coming out in a month or 2 anyway, isn't there? So it shouldn't be too much of a rush on that. Chaos Knights. I did review. I did read these. What are you gonna say?
There is one more thing that Archaon has.
What's that?
He basically gets 2 Chaos Mark keywords.
Okay, that's cool. Well, before you had to pick one, so it's nice to get. So you could make him Slanesh run in charge, because that's generally quite a good thing.
Yeah, and he is undivided by default.
Yep, and because he is the hero, he will be able to be a Slanesh hero to use the command, so that works. So that's cool. Nice combinations there you can start doing. Chaos Knights, I think I've read through these. I think I was a bit disappointed because they've gone up quite a bit in points, and they've got the same characteristics. The Curse Lance has gone up an extra attack. It's got an extra rend, which is nice. So if you are bogged down in combat, but I always use these guys in the charge anyway. You got the Cursed Flail, which was never worth taking. That's for the leader. the Inscribed Warhammers. So this is depending on how you want to. I presume that's how you're going to build them. That weapon seems too good to be given to every single Chaos Knight. Anyway, so you got an extra weapon, which is the Inscribed Warhammer. Might be for the leader, or it might be for all the knights. But if it's for all the knights, it seems very, very good because all you get on the charge is a Cursed Lance's. What's it on the charge? When a model in this unit makes an attack with the Cursed Lance instead of using the range of range characteristic for that attack, you can target enemy units that are within half inches of other models from this unit. That itself is within half an inch of the attacking model. So it's similar to
Galician veteran boats. Yeah.
It's the same what Galician veterans have.
Very good. So you can now actually attack.
And then Impaling Charge, you have add 1 to the damage characteristic and improve the rend characteristic of this unit's Cursed Lance by 1 if it made a charge move in the same turn. So, yeah, that's just quickly jump in there as well. We have got... so Neo Thunder saying it's only for the champion for the Inscribed Warhammer, so thanks for letting us know that. So, like he's saying, it is just Cursed Lances for the Knights now. Yep. So, okay, so the Lancers have got better because they've got +1 rend anyway, and then they've got an extra attack which will help them try and get out of fights. But I did kind of use Knights as they weren't really too expensive in points. I kept them in reserve. I would slowly move them up the board, be a sort of a second wave of attacks, charging to get it. So I wasn't really too bothered about being bulked into combat. It wasn't really a problem for me. And the Chaos Rune Shields are the same for 5 up, more win save. So Knights have got better, but they've gone up in points. Can't remember what it was. It was like 200, 220 maybe. So still okay, but a bit saddened by them. I would have been great to see that without the points hike, or maybe 5 points or something, because they weren't like great value for their points before. And then Demon Prince has changed, so we no longer have the fight first special rule. But if you want to go the Hellforce Sword or the Demonic Axe, so the Demonic Axe is 5 attacks now, where it used to be 3. Freeze and freeze -2, 2 damage, I believe that is. So it's gained an extra 2 attacks, so that's obviously good. Wounds, he's got 10 wounds now with a 3+ save, so that's better than it used to be. The 3+ save was always there, but the 10 wounds, he had 8 before, I believe. The Hellforged Sword, which again is 2-inch range, 5 attacks, 3s and 4s, -1 D3 damage. So there must be another reason to take the sword. Again, if your Demon Prince has wings, it can move 12 inches. Just make it have wings of, just say it's magical and it can fly, because there's no reason why you wouldn't do that. You've got the Mounted Skulls of the Fallen Foes. So if this unit has a trophy rack, do not take Battleshock tests for friendly units wholly within 9 inches of this unit. To addition, each time an enemy hero or monster is destroyed by this unit the same turn, increase the range of this ability by 3. So I like that. A nice, basically making sure we don't have to do Battleshock, because Inspiring Presence can be taken away from things we've already read in this book, as well as Morgasts and everything else. Aura of Chaos, this unit has a ward of 6+, and then Hellforged Sword. If the unmodified hit roll for an attack made this weapon, made with a Hellforged Sword, is a 6, that attack inflicts D3 mortal wounds on the target, and the attack sequence ends. Do not make a save. Just take the axe. Before, there was reasons to take the swords over the axe. If you're going Sinesh and it gave you more attacks to try and explode 6s, now just take the axe, my honest opinion. The Talons have got better as well, because it used to be 3 attacks, and I think that is 8 now. He's definitely got a lot more punchy. And then Immortal Champion, which I think before made you strike first. Now you can carry out one of the following heroic actions, this unit, instead of the ones that we normally see. So the ones we get, we've got Undivided. So Undivided Demon Prince is only until the end of the turn. The strike first applies to this unit. Okay, so there's a way to just generically get it if you want to go Undivided. Pledge of Skulls for Khorne. So Until the end of the turn, each time a enemy model is slain by wounds allocated from attacks made by this unit, heal 1 wound allocated to this unit. Yeah, it obviously depends what you're fighting. But if you're going against 1 wound models, lovely. Because I believe that would be healing a wound for each model killed, from how I read it, I think. And then you've got Eldric Architect, so Zeech Demon Prince only. If it is the enemy hero phase, you can roll a dice for each time a spell it targets this unit on a 2+. That spell has no effect on this unit. If it's your hero phase, this unit can attempt to cast 1 spell from the Law of the Damned and same mana as a wizard. If this unit is already a wizard, this spell, already a wizard, this spell is in addition to any others they can cast. And then you've got a Rodin Miama, I think that was for Nurgle. Demon Princes only. Until the end of the turn, ward rolls cannot be made for enemy units while they are within 3 inches of this unit. That's really good. And then you got Aesthetic Carnage from Slanesh. So if this unit makes a charge roll on this turn, add 1 to the attack characteristics of this unit's melee weapons until the end of the turn. Everyone always likes more attacks, and he's got 2 attack profiles. What I would say is, so the more champions are being to fight first, that's what's really good, but you could do it with the Undivided. But from the other thing Demon Princes used to have was their command, depending on what they were. There was obviously famous Bloodstick around from if you were Khorne. I always went Slanesh, as that's how I built and painted my models, and the Slanesh one was absolute garbage. So I didn't even look at it at all in battle because it really would not be useful to me. So this is more useful for me getting an extra attack. Essentially, it's a heroic action, not a command point, but that's a kind of a free resource if you like. So yeah, I like Demon Prince, but sadly he's not fighting first. More time now, but there are ways to make him do that. Any thoughts quickly on the Demon Prince on that one, Max?
Nurgle all the way. Shutting down wards is very powerful.
Yeah, it's
one of the few things that benefits other units too, as long as he is in the same combat or around.
Yeah, that is really good, isn't it? And Nurgle's quite strong. You got that. You got the banner, to make the enemy not taking to worsen their end by 1 as well. So that's good. Let me zoom out on whatever one we've got here. Oh, the Blade of the First Prince. Okay, so this is brand new. So we've got a 10-inch move, 3+ save, wounds of 9, and bravery 9. So imagine that's probably going to be similar to whatever the Demonic Lord is, but maybe it's a bit better. So we've got 3 weapons. So we've got the Death Glaive, which is 2-inch range, 5 attacks, freeze and freeze, -2, 2 damage. So very nice there. The Skull Flail. So this is 2-inch range, 6 attacks, freeze and freeze, -1 and 1 damage. Not too bad. And then the Tearing Fangs, which is 1-inch range, 3 attacks, 4 and freeze, -1, 1 damage, which is probably very similar to a Varangard horse. But maybe it's got red.
It basically is a Varangard horse.
Yeah, the model looks basically the same as well. So I think it was probably quite not too hard to sculpt.
It used to be a Varangard.
It used to be a Varangard. Well, to be honest, my Chaos Lord Demonic Mount, I use a Varangard model because in the lore it's all there, isn't it? So person used to be a Varangard, now serves Be'lakor, turn back on Archaon, presumably. So the Strike First effect applies to this unit if it's made a charge in the same turn, so that's nice. You've got Network of Spies, so at the start of the hero phase, if this unit is within 1 inch of a friendly Chaos Legionnaires unit or any friendly Furies units, you gain 1 additional command point.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, exactly. It's a nice thing. I bought some Legionnaires. I think they're going to be pretty useful. Good backline unit. You got Veins of Black Lightning. So at the end of your movement phase, if this unit has been slain, roll 2d6 and add 1 to the roll if Be'lakor is in your army and on the battlefield on a
8+.
Yeah, it's an 8+, isn't it? You can set up that unit anywhere on the battlefield and more than 9 inches from all enemy units with all wounds allocated to it removed. So that's nice.
Yeah.
That's on the average, then you should get it back. The average is 7. Be'lakor's there. So that's nice. Again, I'm not cross-referenced looking at points when I'm reading these, but that seems good. Depending on points, it may be one of those things where it might end up being one of those units where it's like, yeah, it's pretty good. What does it add to the rest of the army? Well, not really anything, but it's pretty good. So it's not good enough to stand on its own. Its role was a bit unsure, but the coming back to life thing, I'm a big fan of that. And then we've got
model.
New model, because it's the
Exalted
Hero.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we don't really know what anything else it does. I just remember it being quite a cheap hero. If you could fit it in your army, you could do, and it might do something. It wasn't anything special. How much has this thing changed?
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit. Okay, I'm not gonna have time to read through all these long rules, unfortunately, guys, as I've got to go to work soon. But if you want me to really go in depth over the Warscrolls that I'm missing out on, let me know and I can do that. But what I will say is this book is coming out in the next couple of months, so if you can wait that long, then that's absolutely fine. But I do apologise. But we did do a very good job in covering all the earlier sort of battle traits for your army. Did you have you read this one at all, Max?
For big part. For
if
some
you've got
reason,
like a
this
summary.
one is half. Because the important part is gone.
What's the important thing? The ward save, was it? Oh.
No, that's still there. Still ward. The prayers, basically. They just worded it differently. Let me get. Half battle shock test. Sure, why not? That's good.
Yeah.
Bloodlust. Give one core unit +1 to the charge.
And is it still mortals?
Nope.
Targets? Okay,
nope.
So that's cool.
Just,
that's nice change.
So you can put it on demons now.
Which might help on demon princes, etc.
Yeah, and something like Sigfold, you can also put it on him.
Yeah, that's true. And then going on to again, if you want more in depth, let me know. But if you can wait, that's great. And then so thank you very much for that, Max. And then going on to Vanguard, so movement of 10, 3+ save, bravery 9, and 5 wounds. I think that's the same as they were before.
Nope.
They used to have 4 wounds before, or
sorry. They used to be 5. They were still 5, yeah.
Yeah. So the will stat's still the same. But going on to the weapons. The scroll weapons are now 2 damage flat, where it used to be 1 damage. I'm pretty sure.
They did lose an attack though, but damage 2 is amazing.
Well, it's sacrifice, isn't it? And then that's without putting them in. Could you put them in bounty hunters? Is that a thing? You can put them in bounty hunters. Yeah, you can. It's just as long as not.
So then they become damage free.
Got you.
So we lost the 6 circle, but we got it back for always. So
yeah,
not just on the charge.
Exactly, and I think just the Inscribed weapons are probably just flat out the best thing to take, without reading all the other ones, because the Demon Bound gives you a mortal wound. If the attack roll was a 6 to hit, which just take the extra damage. Just take the extra attacks, basically, in comparison. And then the Impaling Charge, I wanted the wound rolls for attacks made with the Fell Spears and Proof of Rend of this weapon by 1. If charged, just take the Inscribed weapons. And then
Free Rend is very nice, though.
Very nice, but
winning on 2s.
Yeah, but if you don't charge, but I suppose it depends how you take them. You're taking them in Sinesh, where you're using that command bit, you're taking them nice into Throne, you can run and charge, then you can guarantee your charges more, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
I think. And then you've got Relentless Killer, so once per battle round, that's when you can fight twice, isn't it? So that's the same.
Yep.
And then Waterstone Steel, this unit has a ward of a 4+ against mortal wounds, but it didn't have, it just had the shield before. That was a 5-up spell save, if I'm correct.
The one thing they did lose was the +1 to hit from Jacq.l, which is surprising.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a shame. Well, the 6. So you get Rally, which is really good in Knights, not Knights, of Host the Everchosen, but the whole. My idea of Jacq.l being this big aura really sort of helping your vanguard boost them up isn't really a thing anymore, is it? It's kind of more things are more independent now, which a bit sad because I like to have Slaves to Darkness played, but you know,
but it was also very weird. Like, why do they fight better when there is like a big angry guy watching them?
Yeah, I know. You know, in most cases you perform worse if someone's staring at you. So Chaos Sorcerer Lord, the wheel stats and the attacks are the same apart from the Horn, Fangs, and Claws. I can't remember if there are 2 damage before. I think they might have been. But the Shredding Tail used to start as 6 attacks or 5 attacks, I think, and then it got worse the more damage it took. Okay, and then going on to abilities.
The important part is the Oracular Vision.
Yep, Oracular Vision has changed. You no longer reroll on Sage. You get a 6 award save, so sad times. That's not nearly as good. I mean, it's still free, but you know, I mean, but if you're going, well, it's still free, is along the same point of going like, well, they didn't remove it, which is, well, I don't know what's the argument you're trying to prove.
They did that for a lot of units in Siege.
Yeah,
where they were like, we're just going to remove it. Do we get something else? No.
Oh, that's sad. Right, well, yeah, so exactly. So at least you still get that, I suppose. And then you get Territorial Predator, which is a bit different because I think it was like add 1 to a hit or something, but now it's add 1 to damage if you're going against a monster. So you get the Horn, Fangs, and Claws, which are 2-inch range, 5 attacks, 3s and 2s, -1, 2 damage, and now 3 damage. And what I would say is that there were more damage characteristics, things that are like on the monster table, you know, like for the more damage you take, the worse your attacks get and everything for monsters. It doesn't have one anymore, so that's cool.
Chaos is also
it's the same apart from 6s no longer do D3 mortal wounds, they do 2 mortal wounds, which is a better average. So
it's the same average, but it saves time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's easier to count.
I think what I mean to say is I'd rather have the guarantee 2 than roll a bunch of 1s. Chaos Chariot. So this has got an extra attack with the Chaos Great Blade because it used to be 2 attacks. Don't Spare the Leash is the same. Swift Death after this, that's the same. So it's just getting an extra attack.
Yep, and but now you can roll 18 dice.
If you do the what was that again that made you get
the spell?
18? The spell, yeah. Okay, so that could be. Joking aside, that is actually more deadly than the 2-up on a charge does D3 more wounds. I've charged a Chaos Chariot into a Salamander unit back in the day. If it's or might still be the case where like the Salamanders have like the skinks that are with them as well. And the charge, the damage of the charge wipes out all the skinks. You know, so it can be quite good. And then the Gorbish Chariot, the Crushing Fists are the same. The Great Blade's obviously an extra attack. At the end of so this is probably changed. At the end of your combat phase, if this unit made a charge move this turn, it can make a normal move and can do so if it is within 3 inches of any enemy units. If it does so, it can pass across other units with a wing characteristic of 4 or less in the same manner as a model that can fly. In addition, after each such move, you can pick 1 enemy unit it passed across and roll a dice for each model in that unit. For 3+, that enemy unit suffers D6 more wounds. That's nice. It's better than it was.
Like it's like the move away from the Furies. You do damage.
Yeah.
Roll 3 dice in a unit 3. With potential 18 mortal wounds.
Do you roll for each? It's better to have separate
carry it in the unit.
Yeah, I got you. So yeah, that's good. It's better than it was. Is what I'm looking to see when you're looking at an updated version of your book. A Chaos Lord. So this is obviously the step down below the Carcajack. If you want to take it, well, like I was saying, I just use the Vanguard model. You've got a 10-inch move, 3+ save, 8 wounds, 9 bravery. I think I might have only had 7 wounds before, so already a bit better. And then going on to the weapons, you've got the Chaos Lance. So where before it just had the, let me move around on the other screen to actually see the whole thing. So Chaos Lance, It's new, 2-inch range, 4 attacks, freeze and freeze, -1/1 damage. The Chaos Lance, add 1 to damage characteristic and improve the Ren by 1 if it made a charge. So damage 2, -2 Ren, very nice. The Chaos Warhammer, which most people will have, is how it is currently modelled. 1-inch range, 4 attacks, freeze and freeze, -1, 2 damage, same as it was before, not bad. And then the Mighty Who's 1-inch range, 3 attacks, falls and freeze, no Ren, 1 damage, which is the same as it was before. And then it has got it has a War Save of 5+. Against mortal wounds, so that's the same. And then it gets the Knights of Chaos ability, which we've already mentioned from the Chaos Lord Karkdrak. So the only thing that has changed here is the fact that it's got a lance, and I think it might have got an extra root. So yeah, that's that. And then going on to, well, that is the last one we have got written down here. So that's all the leaks that we've got on our side. So just again, quickly cover the Warscrolls. If you really want me to go in more depth, I can do, but I might as well just wait until the book comes out, to be honest with you. And then if you have just sort of joined in now, we massively covered the battle traits and stuff earlier in this 2-hour and 20-minute long video. So go check that out for sure. But I'm just going to quickly look at the chat as well, just to make sure I'm not missing anyone out. Mala is saying that, hi, a 40k player here who wants to start Slaves to Darkness army. Would you redo how to start collecting Slaves to Darkness? I've already ordered some stuff, but kind of lost on what to get next. How many of which unit I would need? Yeah, it'd be something I'll be. Put it this way. Yeah, I definitely want to do that. Hopefully I've got the time and stuff to do it at some point in the future, but I'll make that a video I do at some point in the future after the new book comes out and the rest of the models. So you're probably looking at, I'll get a new one of those videos come out in the next 3 months, something like that, probably around Christmas sort of time, maybe something around then. But I'd definitely be interested in, because, like I say, Slaves to Darkness, outside of anything to do with death, is my favorite army. So I'd definitely be up for doing a new video for you, buddy. But you'll be waiting a while for it, essentially. On what to get next, you're a bit unsure. Wait until the book comes out, mate. Honestly, so. I've already ordered some stuff, so get that stuff built and painted, and then wait until the new book comes out. In all honesty, for you, I'd say for that one though. But thank you very much for your question, mate. And thank you very much for watching. And then we've got Isla saying that this looks amazing, and yeah. So I hope you like it, mate. I hope you're liking the new Slaves to Darkness. I feel a bit mixed emotions about new Slaves to Darkness. I like it overall. I think there's some good positives. You know, you've got the Eye of the Gods. In all honesty, like I really like this book, and I know a new book's coming, so they were going to change some things, so I was going to not like some things and like some things. So I just hope that the things I liked outweigh the things I don't like, and I think that is the case, I'd say, for myself. What about you, Max?
I like the book.
Yeah,
it seems very flexible. Like, I spitballed with one of my mates, and we came for like 5 lists that can probably win a tournament.
Oh, really?
Like yeah, because there's one thing in particular we did not cover yet, and that is the fact that Furies can now become battle line.
Okay. Yep. So that's obviously up on the points, isn't it?
And basically, they technically have the best rule in the game. If they keep that, we were discussing about just playing Be'lakor and 108 of them.
Yeah, what the whole instead of fighting in combat phase, they can retreat basically, can't they?
Yep. And then you just make them expert conquerors. You can just not hit them, and you just sit on objectives all game.
Yeah, that's good. It'd be interesting to see if they keep it or not, though, won't it?
Yeah,
I imagine. And then, yeah, again, I haven't gone through the points, guys, but most things have.
Oh yeah, and Chosen are now battle lines in Hosts of the Ever Chosen,
which is nice. So you want to take them in that, you've got your option. If you don't want to worry about like the smaller things, but even Chaos Warriors aren't that small. Obviously, you get loads of battle line options in this army. Being what it is, it's always been a case of Slaves to Darkness, but now you've got even more. some things have gone down in points. I'd say more things have probably gone up for a quick glance, but that's something that we can see. That's another time, you know, like you can see Chaos Warriors have gone up by 20 points. Chaos Knights, I believe, as well, they've gone up by 60 points, which this is why I was annoyed with the Chaos Knights. Now remembering it, 60 points is not justified for what the hell they got out of that. 200 points maybe, but they're still like 170 points what they were before was pushing it, I'd say. So not happy with some of the points changes, but that's always going to happen. And then that means when the next general handbook comes out, the point reductions will probably happen. So that is stuff that we're going to have to wait and see. But with that, guys, I'm going to thank you all very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please like the video, subscribe as always, comment down below any questions you've got, and I'll be happy to read and answer them when I can. And I hope you're just excited for the new Slaves to Darkness as me and Max are. And remember to stay until next time, guys, stay safe, all that sort of thing. Make sure, I want to say a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons, YouTube members. Thank you so much for supporting me, especially when I haven't been as active as I used to be. Really does mean a lot to me when I see you guys still supporting me when I come to make videos like today. And thank you to yourself, Max, as well, for joining me in this video. It was a bit of a crusade, 2.5 hour one to do, as I quote, before we started. We're not going to do a deep dive, just going to do a quick review and quick reaction to all the rules. Turns out, I think 2.5 hours, we didn't do, bear in mind we blitzed the Warscrolls. I think we didn't do too badly. Like, we covered some things in quite a bit of detail. And I'll do a better coverage of this when I've actually bought the book and it's in my hands. Again, I won't get an early access or anything, because I'm not like that at Games Workshop. Don't get free things from them, but you get an honest review from me. And until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching this. Lucas has just put something in, just cover that before we go. I think they went up because they got command models.
They already had banners, so
yeah, you didn't get them in the start collecting box. You just kit bash them and stuff. So
they also lost the -1 from the banner, I think. Whatever.
Doom Knight made the enemy -1 to bravery. Yeah. Well, if they have, that's another thing that's maybe sad. Anyway, with that, guys, I'm excited for the new book. Well, there's still more things to see coming out of there. We haven't got all the Warscrolls here, so it'll be exciting when we get to see the rest. Until next time, guys, like I say, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I hope you are painting up your Slaves to Darkness armies. Catch you later.